Listen up, Vegas. Welcome to the slaughterhouse. Perfect.
Hey, we're live. I don't know why I played that first intro. That was an accident. It's a catchy song, though.
It is. It is indeed.
How are you, Ken? We did not plan to go live. It just sort of happened. We've got Wasabi Spine Ticks in the house. Definitely check out Spine Ticks. They're doing it right over there. And speaking of doing it right, we have Articulated Chad. Good morning.
Mm-hmm. Don't you love it when you go live on about 3 minutes notice and people still come in to see you? So, clearly you're setting up destination programming somewhere.
I muted myself somehow.
Magic.
There we are. All right. Treasures for Trigger. How are you, Phil? Good to see you, buddy. And Dale, hello. Everybody, I'm sitting at a bar having a drink like Ken.
And I just realized I must be drunk every time he comes on because I keep pronouncing his last name as Sanford. And for the first time, I'm finally seeing it as Santaford. So you must be sitting there thinking, man, does this guy not know how to read? And apparently I don't. So.
Oh, jeez. So, I got the afternoon off because I got to work later tonight. So I thought, why not just go live, see what happens. I don't usually go live around this time, so it's good to see some people hanging out already. Wolverine, Snicked, Addie's Disease, how are you, buddy? Yeah, that's a sound effect of one of the best sound effects, I reckon, other than Thwip. Yeah, good stuff. So my idea for today was I didn't get to do a much of a look at the Slaughters Marauders when we were going through the sub teams. So I thought I was just going to jump on here and just take a look and just gush over Slaughters Marauders by myself. But you're available, so hello. Thanks
I'm available for a little bit before I got to do the bedtime routine for the boy. But otherwise we're good. We're good for a little while here.
All right, let's bring up. Oh, that's so good.
Yes, sir.
So I got to give them a 360.
Mm-hmm.
So the funny thing was Marauders. Well, obviously, other than the bright blue that accompanies their camouflage, is that if you read the description, it says Slaughters Marauders lead G.I. Joe's latest land offensive against Cobra, shielded by their camouflage. Shielded by their camouflage and armed with the heaviest artillery, which is true. The Marauders are prepared to defeat Cobra anywhere in the world. So I wonder, I had a conversation, I can't remember who I was having a conversation with, so I apologize if I've forgotten your name. But I was talking about how Hawk probably came to Sarge and said, look, I need you to put together a team. We're trying out this new camouflage. It's, the usual browns and greens and stuff you would expect, but we're adding in a splash of blue. And he's like, yeah, say no more. And he goes, but use it sparingly, Sarge. Use the blue sparingly. And he goes, yeah. I hear you, mate. I hear you. All of a sudden, he walks out with a fully blue tank top. He's like, yeah, I'm doing this right.
Oh, can't go wrong with that look, especially.
Yeah, I mean, have you got an opening opinion as far as the Marauders are concerned, Ken?
Well, okay, here's the thing. Among the sub-teams that they did in the 80s, this is one of the ones that just makes the most sense. It's like an in-and-out, bam-bam sub-team, kick ass and take names, kind of like that. It's just what they are, right? Definitely do a custom with the Renegades. So should we tell Dale Santaford the spoiler? Unless he was listening earlier, because I think I might have said it. Is I actually am doing a video on that. Zazel and I collaborated on a Slaughters Marauders Renegades video. It's a short one, but it's coming out on the weekend.
Howdy, Bjorn. So I also gave a sneak peek of your Renegade / Marauders custom in my latest video for the Nautical Attack Station.
Mm-hmm.
But, damn, they look good. Who did those again?
Peter Horvath from Sparkplug Customs. He is actually usually one of my two helpers at a toy show. Like whenever I do toy shows, he's usually right there with me. So
Yeah,
he just loves doing the repaint style. It's just the guy's just talented, and I figured I may as well show off his abilities.
Well, he's very good. I like his stuff. So the thing with the Marauders is they were all constructed in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why their plastic quality is a little subpar in comparison to the usual G.I. Joes that Hasbro were distributing is because they were made in Brazil with their quality of plastic. So the reason why their skin tones are a little bit off, why the quality is not quite right, is because of that fact. But I don't know if they were instructed by Hasbro for anything specific. But the funny thing about the Brazil versions from Estrella is that they only brought out low light Sergeant Slaughter and Barbecue. The rest didn't come out in Marauder's colors. I know that they did do a Spirit in more of a Nightfall sort of color with that red stripe down the center of him. I'm not sure about Mutt in Footloose, but yeah.
Yeah, and I will say that as I learn a little bit more about plastics, I can only speculate that I think I've heard ABS plastic is graded on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest and 1 being the lowest. And it's entirely possible that at the Brazil factory, they weren't given as much budget, so they did it on the lower scale of the ABS. Is entirely possible. I know people have said that some of the knockoff Transformers and whatnot were done in a lower ABS. So that's kind of where I'm getting at. And I think some of the bootleg G.I. Joes that are being done right now are like that as well, I think. But again, this is all speculation on my part. I don't have a factual source for that, but it just makes sense.
So for a long time, I was hesitant about getting the Slaughters Marauders, mostly because, and I've said it before, is that Sergeant Slaughter, particularly because he's got the most sort of skin on him, looks like he has the skin tone or the type of, the way I describe it is mannequin level type of skin.
A little bit, yeah. Seems like it, a little bit.
Like he could be a storefront mannequin with that sort of glossy skin color. And that's the problem as well, is that he doesn't have the paint apps, although poor old Spirit didn't get his eyebrows painted on. I think Sergeant Slaughter's lack of paint apps for his wristbands is a big loss, particularly because they're still sculpted on there, and you can't just change the arms because of the skin tone.
I've noticed that, yeah.
They didn't, but with your card art, I'll click on Sarge actually while I'm rotating. Let's bring him up real quick. If you look, can you see that on your?
It's still loading, but there it is. There it is.
So he's holding his swagger stick upside down, but that's all right. We won't hold it against 3D Joes. But if you look, it says "Made in Brazil" on the side, I think, or on the back. Where is it? Made in Brazil on the back there, and it says comes with a baton, even though we know it's a swagger stick. So that's what I was going to show you. So the card art, while it does omit the wristband, so they haven't bothered to draw him on there, which is fine. But if you look at him, he's actually wearing the Triple T outfit in the paint art here, but he's actually got the mail away outfit. So he's got the pants, the belt, the boots from the Triple T there. The symbol on his campaign cover is different to what's on the actual figurine. But those wristbands,
I know. It just sticks out. Like you just notice it so much today. Like back then, we kind of forgave it because we just took it out and played with it. And I just wanted to ask. I've heard differing opinions. Do you know if the swagger stick between the Marauders version and the versions 1 and 2, if they're different from one another somehow?
Yep, they're all actually very different from each other. And most of it's got to do with, I know that the easiest way to check if you have a mail away or if you have a Triple T swagger stick is if you put the swagger stick next to the campaign cover of the version 1 with the brown campaign cover, the plastics will match. the color of the paint will match the browns. But it's also got to do with the level of how much gold is on the tip. So I think the mail away has the least amount of gold on the tip of the swagger stick as compared to the other ones. We might as well go and have a look at them all, actually.
But you know what? A lot of people, they classified, a lot of people will mix up and they'll still sell it as complete. Like I'm sure the eBay sellers, they just say complete. They don't check which swagger stick is which.
Hello, usual Mike.
Yep. Oh,
yeah. So yeah, go on. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say he was in my live earlier too. So it's good.
Oh, cool.
Good to hear. Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, I think all of the swagger stick accessories are valuable anyway. So they would elevate the price of any Sergeant Slaughter, regardless of which version it comes with. In fact, I've seen back when the Argentina version of Sergeant Slaughter was easily accessible, you were seeing a lot of those swagger sticks removed because they were going for like $10 a dozen back then. They're worth hundreds of dollars now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's spin it a little bit slower. So yeah, the swagger sticks were being cut out of the mint in box or mint in Argentina Sarges and given to the other Sarges. Mail away or whatever when you're buying a complete one. But yeah, those Argentina versions from Plastorama, they are going for hundreds of dollars now. And funnily enough, the accessory that's most missing from a carded Plastorama Sarge is the swagger stick. But I've got one that's got multiple swagger sticks, and I think like 3 or 4 swagger sticks in the one. Unbelievable.
I think you've shown me that one before. Like it was just sort of an error that was just sort of done with it.
Yeah. So they threw in too many into that one. But I've also got one that doesn't have the torso painted, so it looks like he's taken off his tank top, which is weird. But not as weird as the one that doesn't have a mustache painted. Yep. Absolutely. Just look at that shot, like just the rotating shot and the way Carson has taken these. Yeah.
This photography.
I don't know how. Double click to zoom. Okay, let's do that. I did. Oh, well, let's just. Damn, they look good. They look good together. So for me, Marauder's Sarge was the only one that I ever saw in stores when I was a kid, and I put him back on the shelf because I was like, nah, I want the Triple T. Yeah, I never did find a Triple T where I was, so I just went without. Had I known that, I would have just grabbed the Marauders one and be done with it, and just had that in my collection. But you don't know that when you're a kid. You don't know that you're never going to see one again.
No, you're not really sure why, but like you're looking in the catalog and you realize things are changing year on year, but you're still hoping to find the one that you see in the cartoon.
Hey, Jim. Yeah, that's right. I don't think I ever even knew that the wrestling one was a thing, because we definitely didn't have the mail away available to us. What a beautiful bunch, I'll say. Oh, Rob Vegas is in the house.
Oh, Rob Vegas. Yep. And Jim Largo is like Gazz. He's in what when you see him in the chat, you're doing something right. So
yeah, good to see you, Jim.
Yeah. You're right. We didn't talk about these as much as we could have on the stream we did on Saturday, just on this channel. But I think a lot of it came down to the fact that we already know how much you like the Marauders. Like you've already done previous videos on them. So if you run out of time for one thing, that was the one thing to run out of time on, if you ask me.
Yeah, true. But I honestly, I didn't, that live that we did, I think I fumbled around for so long without any real direction, but it was so much fun. Hanging out with you guys, particularly Chad was hanging out with us, that it didn't matter. And then by the end, we got so far off topic, watching you at the bar having some beers. That was a good laugh. It was good fun.
Well, I'm glad you all were good sports about it, because it's one of those things like that's where you and I differ a little. You're like, you know what, just let this go how it may. And I'm the kind of guy who's like, I've got one more question on my agenda for this roundtable. Like it's very it's very different, which is good, because like I said, I didn't want TKO to be a clone of the Slaughterhouse, but so I guess coming on drunk is actually entertaining for some of you folks, and I may consider doing that. No, actually I won't. I better not say that while I'm sober.
Hey, I've been hungover on the show before. Yeah, like
I
we're
remember.
not too fussy. It's always a good hangout, regardless of
Mhm.
what topic we're talking about. But here it said, oh well, these are some sharp looking fellas right there. Howdy, why I
They
say howdy. Yeah, we did for a few minutes talk about the vehicles. The vehicles are some of the best. So these are all the version 1 of the characters. So version 1 Mutt and Junkyard, version 1 Spirit, version 1 Sergeant Slaughter.
yes.
So, but I'm glad that they still came with everything that they were supposed to. Like you got Freedom with Spirit. Most of the weapons are done in black, which I think is pretty cool. The helmet, I think, could have used a splash of paint for Footloose. And for some reason, they added a splash of paint to the top of the campaign cover for Sergeant Slaughter, but I would have preferred that they added that dash of paint to the wristbands. In fact, I would have preferred they took the colors off the boots and added that to the wristbands too. So have the boots all black and add the brown to the wristbands maybe. But I'm just nitpicking because I do believe, is it Footloose that also should have wristbands or a watch or something? We'll see when it comes back around, but they didn't paint his either. So
Yep. You see it right there. It's not painted.
yeah. So
Clearly they
I
had
get
to keep out of the paint.
Well, I mean, they did and they didn't, though, right? Like when you think about it, they added a lot of paint. They just stopped in certain places. Like someone didn't get an eyebrow, but they got a few. You know, they got the full gloves were painted. Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of paint, but then none in certain spots. Like a look at Lowlight. That's a lot of paint on one figure in comparison to what he did get. But I guess you got to pick and choose, I suppose. In these sort of scenarios, it's just weird how. I mean, obviously they haven't bothered painting any of the weapons. The helmet for Footloose doesn't have any of the grass. Can you guys rank your favorites of these from 1 to 6? Yes, I can. I'm glad you asked. Number 1, Sergeant Slaughter, and then the rest.
Well,
Right,
I know Sarge watches this show, so I'm going to give my honest opinion about how to rank these 1 to 6. And I've thought about this for a long time, namely since Phil asked the question a long time ago. Okay, so number 1, Sergeant Slaughter, and then the rest.
Yeah. Right. No, okay, so in all seriousness, I think if we have to go by color alone, right, I think Lowlight has probably got to be the least garish, right? If he's still working at night, the beanie, the gloves, the goggles, they're not going to stand out quite as much, right? I think that he would still work in his designated field, like is he a night spotter? He's definitely a sniper.
Yes, I was going to say that for sure.
So I think his probably works the best out of all of them. I mean, Sarge is not. This is not the best version of Sergeant Slaughter at all. I think it's a toss-up between Mail Away and Triple T, and then Warthog, and then it's going to be this guy. But if we're going to rank these guys 1 through 6, I can't not give the number 1 spot to Sarge, so I'm going number 1 for that. Spirits blue gumboots are an odd choice, right? They are. Yeah. The fact that they painted the laces, who is that? Is it coming around? Yeah. They painted the laces here blue for.
Oh yeah.
So it's interesting where they could have put that blue paint app on his wristbands. Okay, so number 1 has to be Sarge. Sorry, I know that's such an easy pick, but I could not put him there. Number 2, I'm going to give to Lowlight. Number 3, I'm going to give to Barbecue. I've got a deep appreciation for Barbecue now since I did that video of the nautical attack station. And I think the reason why Lowlight and Barbecue probably beat out the rest is because they don't have odd paint apps on their face, whereas the other 3 kind of do. Like Spirit doesn't have his eyebrows. At least my version of Footloose has a bit of a dodgy eyebrow, and same with my version of Mutt. He's got a bit of a dodgy eyebrow too, and a dodgy mustache on my version. So I'll go Sarge, I'll go Lowlight, I'll go Barbecue, then I'm going to go Spirit, then I'm going to go Footloose, and then Mutton Junkyard. That's my 6 in that order.
I gotta go Sarge number 1 because I've always been biased towards him, and then you and Kelly introducing me to him a couple times now on this show have only increased that bias. So there's nothing I can do other than put him number 1. I would reverse the order. I prefer Barbecue over Lowlight in this particular case.
Okay.
Not sure what it is. Maybe it's just the cool blue helmet, and I'm picturing if it was live action, it would be like a deep navy blue. I'm not sure why I'm picturing it that way. The other ones are a little bit hard to rank because Footloose, for me, the issue is the gun straps always break, right?
Oh, yes, that is true.
Or in Spirit's case, the claws are always missing. So then I just default to Mutton Junkyard next after that.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
And then the other two, because something always breaks on those other two. That's why I do it that way. So I go Sarge, then Barbecue, then Lowlight, then Mutton Junkyard, then the other two. But whenever I see Spirit and Marauder's clothes, I just think that looks so cool. But I'm reminded how easily stuff breaks on him, even more so than others.
Star Wars Micro Machine Guy. Spirit.
See, there you go.
Spirit got the $10 eyebrow threading deal at the local mall.
See, there you go.
That's so good.
My thoughts exactly. And well said, Star Wars Micro Machines guy. Right?
Yeah, thanks for that. That's great. Barbecue, Lowlight is great too. Lowlight is my favorite JoJo of all time. To be runner-up to Sarge is an acceptable second place. Yeah, okay. Very good. Footloose was one of my favorite old school Joes. He featured heavily in the UK Action Force comics.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. Was he still from the US, or did they change his country of origin? It's a good question.
I'm realizing now that Jim Largo is actually an old school Action Force guy, which is actually, and I like to keep tabs on what everyone's interested in, just so you can like field a question into the chat every now and then. You know, we've seen Chad's collection now, so we know where his expertise lies. But anyway, it's kind of cool.
So yeah, before I wanna move on to the vehicles in a sec. But yeah, these guys they look great. The fact that they still included their pets, Spirit and Mutt, yeah, it's a good inclusion. I'm glad they didn't cheap out there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me remove.
Well, they couldn't, right? I mean, it's a little too fundamental to the character to cheap out on those.
Yeah. All righty, let's share. Stop this one. Let's try this one now. I'm still getting the hang of this.
I'll never get the hang of StreamYard.
All right. Is it doing it? Is it doing it?
Oh, the vehicles?
Yeah. Can you see them?
Absolutely.
Oops, I've gone too far. Let's move them over here and zoom in just a bit. So what are you doing, mate? Technology. So yeah, the glaring omission here is Barbecue, but I cleared that up.
Yes.
But I mean, I could have added him to the back of the Armadillo. What really bugs me is that the Armadillo didn't get a name change. So
just laziness.
Names changes, but Armadillo is an Armadillo.
Mm-hmm. But it's just they do that sometimes, right? Like, you know, the driver for the Rolling Thunder is called Armadillo. So what do you do there?
Yeah. Armadillo and an Armadillo.
You know, he would make a great custom Marauder just because of the tie-in to the Marauder's Armadillo.
You can
so
put
you really wanted to expand the range
as well.
Well, there you go, right?
They gone. Hello.
They gone.
Yeah, look, the missiles for the Equalizer and the Armadillo are both the same. So if you've got a missile for the Armadillo, you have a missile for the Equalizer. So if you're looking for a spare one on eBay and you find one that says Armadillo missile and you want one for an Equalizer, heads up, it's the same missile.
Good attention to detail.
I have so Footloose is in the Armadillo. I have him, and when I first got him, the strap for the gun is intact. I haven't touched him, but I've gone back and had a look, and it's broken. I was like, "Yep, of course it is."
You know, I'm more, if I have the figure complete, I'm less finicky about whether it's broken as long as it's functional.
Right. Yeah. Like it's still attached. But
that's the thing, right? Like I can still say that it's complete, right? So I don't know. Right.
So
Now,
out
busted
of the,
crotches bug me, but that's about it. So
which one's the biggest improvement, do you think? So the Lynx, the Equalizer, or the Armadillo? Which one do you think is the improvement here?
it's hard to say because the only one I had as a kid, excuse me, was the Armadillo. So when I see sort of the Armadillo I had that had limited play value, and then I look at this Armadillo and I go, man, that would have been cooler to have as a kid.
Yeah. Oh, so it's Ken from Toy Connection on the mic, and it's Zazel from this very channel. Thanks for asking.
Yes. Thanks for
Hans,
asking.
how are you, mate?
Oh, the party can begin. We
Everyone
almost need like,
relaxed?
yep. Everyone relax. We almost need entrance music just for Hans when he comes in.
Yeah, right.
You know,
So
we should just play John Cena's music. Oh no, wait, that's copyrighted. Never mind.
Equalizer for the win. I think the Equalizer is a vast improvement compared to, because it was the Mauler, right? And I want to say, what was the other version that used this? I'm sure there's another one.
I'm drawing a little bit of a blank, but I'm sure someone will tell us in the chat.
Is it the same one that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Tell us. Hey, someone tell us. So I think the Equalizer looks probably the best. The Lynx, which was a redo of the Mauler, yes. Yeah. But was it used for anything else other than the Mauler? If not, well, that I still think this is better than the Mauler. I think the color's better too. I think that it's great that they didn't add too much of the blue. Well, they added no blue, technically, unless you count the USA flag and the G.I. Joe stickers and the little bit of blue on the Marauders. But they could have easily done that. But I think the Equalizer is better than the original. The Lynx, which was the Wolverine, is probably not as good as the Wolverine. It's definitely not as iconic. And the Armadillo, I mean, I think they're just equal. I mean, you subtract one front cannon for 6 missiles. I mean, they could have had both, though, right?
That's the thing, right? Like, yeah, you know what? It almost makes it seem a bit useless now because you fire those 6 missiles, then what? You don't have a cannon at the front anymore.
Yeah.
You have to hold it the way Footloose is and just fire from there. But then what's the point of the vehicle?
Yeah. Armadillo every time my folks could afford it. Yeah, I think a lot of people had an Armadillo in their collection because it was affordable. It was an affordable tank.
Yep.
And you know, I think they utilized it very well in the cartoon as well, which made it a plus. Like it was in the cartoon, featured quite heavily in the cartoon. So yeah, it's good advertising for them and great budgetary reasons for the parents. Lynx is the Wolverine with Mauler main gun.
There we go. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, those treads look like the Wolverine, but I was like, the gun was throwing me off.
Here's a good point. After you fire 6, what else you need to do? You've already done your job. Yeah,
that's a good point. Assuming you actually hit your target.
True. That's right. But I guess that's so they've taken a Mauler and split them up, and they've gone, okay, you don't have. So I guess essentially you could turn an Equalizer into a Slaughters Marauders version of the Mauler, right?
You could because you got the Mauler main gun from the Lynx, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm realizing would have looked really good in Marauders colors?
Yeah,
because I'm thinking about missiles and heavily armed. The freaking Rolling Thunder.
Oh yeah, could you imagine? Oh.
Right, especially with a driver named Armadillo, like I was saying earlier. Imagine a custom Marauders Rolling Thunder. I mean,
well, did we? Well, we saw a Night Force. Was it not? Yeah, we saw a Night Force version from Chad.
Yes.
Oh, so good. And then he showed us his Night Force base, and I think he mentioned that he dropped some of his stuff. I feel so bad about that. Chad, I apologize for getting you to pick that up, mate. I feel so guilty that you lost a few pieces.
If you've seen the rest of his collection, you know not to feel too sorry for him. And you saw the rest of his collection.
No, but I so wanted to see it so badly. I didn't think about the logistics of it, having to pick it up and move it around. So if any of it broke, I sincerely apologize. I was just so desperate to see it. Hot seat in the Wolverine, yeah. I love the smalls. Smalls forever. You can play them easily. I had a girlfriend like that. Take the top from the Equalizer, swap it onto the Lynx, and you've got a Mauler ride for Sarge. Yeah, there you go. Well, Sarge is already pretty at home on the Equalizer. I think Marauder's version of the Warthog would be pretty good. I saw a picture of a warthog painted in the camo pattern of Sergeant Slaughter's pants, of all things, and I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. That's what she said. Smalls were always easier to play with or take with you. Yeah. No, sorry, everything was totally fine. Oh, thank God. Okay,
That's reassuring. That's very reassuring.
So I had my good friend Classified brought me in a super cop into work.
Ooh.
And they dropped it on the way in. I was like, oh, no. Super Cup was all right, folks. Super Cup was all right.
Have you seen the price of a freaking Super Cop lately? Oh, my goodness.
So I was lucky enough to get most of my Super Cops and most of my Argentina Sargento Slaughters at a very good price because they weren't popular. You know, nobody wanted the fun school stuff. Nobody wanted the international stuff. So it was easier to get. And now, because all of us adult collectors have gone and collected everything, it's like, what's next? And now the international stuff is going up in price.
Yeah.
Is it making you dizzy yet? They're gone. I slowed them down a little because I was starting to get dizzy. A Warthog and Havoc are my favorite vehicles. Yeah, I love the Havoc. I know a lot of people have an issue with the lack of, I guess, canopy or protection in the front. But if you like Sarge and the Triple T, then you know front-facing protection is irrelevant. 3D Joes, yeah. Yeah. I agree with this sentiment, Phil. That's why we're off camera.
I could turn the camera on, but it might just be Ralph. It might just be Ralph apologizing for me not being on camera. So
if you've got Ralph on camera and you're both hands free. Anyway, I only have a Havoc, Devilfish, and X30 as a kid. The Devilfish is another great small vehicle. I would say that a Marauders version of the Devilfish. Oh, and I had a Desert Fox too. That's so good. These are great vehicles though, so it's all good. The Devilfish would be great in Marauders colors.
Ooh,
sounds like you're on the toilet.
yes.
I'm not. I'm in the lounge room. I swear. Is it echoey? Unless I am.
I was a little echoey all through yesterday's J trifecta stream. It's just because I sat 2 feet away from my mic, thinking I could just yell over there.
I am. I'm not. I'm in the lounge. I swear. I just couldn't be bothered.
I'm in the dark. I'm kind of in the dark.
Fun School apparently still produces vamps. Yeah, and they've got some awesome. I've got the. I think the latest one was the green one that had the star on it. I would love to get that version. What else is there?
They're not advertised as GI Joe though, but everyone knows because they're Fun School that people still, and then because they know they're vamps, so people still like them for that reason.
Yeah. But I think that the Super Cop one is one of the best of the repaints because I think that it adds a little bit of it differentiates between the military stuff. But I know that they did do a green one. The Racing Vamp is another good version of a Fun School Vamp, and I love that one too because again it differentiates from the military stuff. Yeah, love it. Did we pick a favorite out of these three? I got to go Equalizer.
I think we did, and I said that I was biased towards the Armadillo, but now the lack of a front cannon and reminding me of the lack of the front cannon is bugging me a little. But I'll stand by it for now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this
the Armadillo, but it goes back to what Vagon said. If you fire all 6, you can pretty much go back to the base. So,
well, yeah, but then
your mission could be done.
And how good is that? The art on this is
so
good. Hey, look, I see wristbands on this guy. Suspicious. Oh, so good. 6 surface-to-air missiles, dual pivoting turret gun, positionable turret, 4 mud flaps, perfect, 2 smoke canisters, front and rear missile launching system, Pivoting radar and the antenna. Nice. Made in Brazil again. So, yeah. Also made in Brazil. Oh, Sarge is going to get dizzy. Yeah, nice. Oh, just gorgeous.
Lots to gush over, let's put it that way.
I miss when G.I. Joe came with epic blueprints like this.
Yeah. Oh gosh. But mind you, they are bringing back the file cards for the back of the retro ones. Like when I opened the retro Gung Ho today, had the file card. Now it was in 5 languages. I grant you, with really small font for English, but it's okay. At least I got a file card.
Big one, worth 5 flag points. Don't you hate it when you see a vehicle and it's worth half a flag point? I'm trying to remember which one I saw recently that had half a flag point on it. I think it was the Cobra Flight backpack thing.
Not the claw, right?
No, the red one. What's that one called?
Oh yeah. I forgot what that one's called. Flight pack? No. It's just
it could
flight
be.
pack. Yeah.
Might be. Either way, I think it was worth half a flag point. This one says 3 flag points, but it's got a number 5 on it. What does that mean?
Depends. Yeah, it's just they're messing with you.
Zazel, the echoes I heard with your voice, I didn't think you were in a small room, but instead I thought you'd shaved off your beard. Well, yeah, that would be, if I'm ever not on camera for, the jetpack. If I'm ever not on, it was the jetpack. If I'm ever not on camera for a few months, it's because I've lost a bet and therefore I've lost my
beard.
But yeah, look at that. I'll zoom in on it. But yeah, it says 3 flag points with a big glaring number 5 on it. So how did they get around that?
Imagine if they really thought it was 3 and you mailed it in and you were short 2 flag points. Did you waste all those flag points because you're not mailing? You know that they're not mailing it back.
Well, yeah. Now I need to know. Oh, where'd the rest of them go? Oh, here we are. All right, let's check the links and see how many flag points they get. We've got 3 flag points with a 3 on it.
So they got that one right.
Yeah. Super realistic detail, movable cannon, removable towing cable. I've got all these vehicles and all the tow cables are intact, but I make sure that I just have one sort of uncoupled at the end so that it doesn't break, expand or whatever and then snap. But let's check the final one and see what that one was worth. That's a lost in translation. Yeah, this one's 3 as well. Interesting.
So they must all be 3 for real.
Yeah, look at the camo pattern on this is so much different to what we actually got. Let me look at it from that's dark green. A lot of dark greens there. This one's got a little bit of black in it by the looks of it. It's not a bad look.
Yeah, they just pop so much on the back of the card art as opposed to, well, it's a little different.
They didn't even bother to add barbecue to the back of this. Poor barbecue gets stifled again.
Yeah, but you figured it out with the battle bar. You figured it out with the battle bar, so you're good.
How cool does that look with him on the back there, though? Make the sound effects over here. Pew pew.
Pew pew.
Those lime suckers. Yeah. All right. Well, sounds like you're ready for bed, Ken.
Oh no, I'm getting towards the time of getting the boy over to sleep. You see, I just have too much fun on these streams, just hanging out, talking G.I. Joe, talking whatever we've got. Any excuse to come hang out is an excuse to hang out. If I can, I'll drop what I'm doing and just head over here. But before I take off, you may want to plug a streamathon for Saturday.
Oh yeah, streamathon. Fuck yeah. All right, so I'll just say goodbye to Chad. Goodbye, Chad.
Take care, Chad.
So this weekend, starting on the Slaughterhouse, I think it's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
So it'll be Sunday morning for me, Saturday night for the rest of you guys. We're going to, actually, here's what I'll do. Let me just go to YouTube real quickly. I'm going to throw in the chat the links to everybody involved in Streamathon. So first of all, we got Toykennections. So it starts off on my channel.
Yeah, you can skip mine to save time. I just want to make sure that that Phil gets a bump in subs. Ryan as well.
So we got
Adam too, but he's doing pretty well. You put me anyway. Okay.
I was already there because I added you to the description of this video. So we got Ryan from Island of Misfit Toy Collectors. I'll add his link. Copy. Now I'm going to add these in the chat. If you guys that are here watching could do me a solid and subscribe to all of these guys that I'm adding in, because you don't want to miss a thing. You don't want to close your eyes.
Don't want to fall asleep.
All right, we got Phil for Treasures for Trigger here. Bam. So download. Subscribe to Treasures for Trigger Phil, and then we've got. Where is he? We've got.
Baby.
One more to go. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to miss a thing.
We need a live karaoke night with Hans on here.
Yeah. Go figure.
And watch he sing it so closely to the original, you get a copyright takedown.
Oh, yeah.
Sound too much like Steven Tyler.
Yeah, well. All right, so these channels that I just
they gone. He's going as fast as he can, bud.
What did I hurry up? Yeah, sorry, man. So if you guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to these channels, because between myself, Island of Misfit Toy Collectors, Toykennections, Treasures for Trigger, and Go Figure, we are doing a streamathon this weekend, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 hour on each channel. So it's the streamathon goes for 5 hours over 5 channels, and we've each picked a certain toy grouping or action figure line from different versions of pop culture out there. So we're starting with Star Wars, then we're going to G.I. Joe on the Island of Misfit Toy Collectors, then we're going over to Transformers with Ken, then we've got Ninja Turtles over on Treasures for Trigger, and then on Go Figure, it's Masters of the Universe. And what we're doing is we are going to be talking about the unsung heroes of each line.
Underrated. I think it's underrated characters, right?
Yeah.
So I guess in a way you can say it's unsung heroes.
You're hard to impress. There you go.
Yeah.
One can always improve. Well, shit.
Shit.
Get me at Ken sub. I'll be there. Perfect. Thanks, Will.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. Well, I mean, hang in the chat on the Masters of the Universe one. Happy accident. If you've got 5 hours to spare on that weekend, then come and hang out on all of our channels. But yeah, if you like Star Wars or any or Transformers or Ninja Turtles, yeah, definitely jump on.
Yeah. And I already put up the stream for mine, so you can set that reminder first, and that'll hopefully remind you as the days get closer that the other streams will go up as well. So if you go to my channel, you'll see it right there. Just click the bell to notify yourself. And then as the other streams go up, you'll be reminded. So yeah.
So I'll be plugging the channels as we get closer to it, but it will be starting on the Slaughterhouse. And then I'll add the links as they create the live links. I'll put those in the description too. But it's going to be a blast hanging out with you guys, just talking action figures. If you're a old school Ninja Turtles fan, Dale, you're going to love it, because we've each picked a character to talk on for the Ninja Turtles. And we've done that across the board. So we've each picked a Star Wars character. We've each picked a Transformer, G.I. Joe, Motu, and Ninja Turtles. Some of these are, it was difficult to pick sort of like an unsung hero or underrated, because someone's always going to be someone's favorite, right? So I might pick someone and say these guys are underrated, and someone in the chat might go, well, what do you mean? This is my favorite. This guy was always highly rated. And then it's like, great, that's good, because then, yeah, they had fans. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear.
Yep. And that's why we're all looking forward to it. It's a great idea. It's a great community building kind of event as well. You know, we just came off of 5 days of Iconicon. We just came off a month of Cobra Convergence, and this is kind of a good sort of like 1 day quick hits event with probably, dare I say, the 5 most popular of the vintage toy lines out there. If you got to pick the 5, that would be it. If you ask me.
Yeah, Mondo.
Yep.
Gecko. Would we say that Mondo Gecko is underrated though, or is he a popular character?
He could be underrated for his own reasons, right? You know.
Yeah. I'm hoping it'll be fun. So yeah, Rob, it'll be Sunday for us, Rob. It'll be Saturday night or Saturday evening for everyone of the other side of the country. Remember to get more Slaughterhouse, like, sub, share, and comment, and do it all again for the replay.
Yep. Thank you. They gone.
So we knew we had a big discussion. So it's going to be, what is going to happen is, because we've only got an hour to do it in each one, which is going to make it, it's like a marathon, which is why it's called streamathon. And so you've only got an hour for 5 people to discuss their favorite character in the line that we're discussing. So Star Wars, where we're starting, we've got an hour to discuss 5 characters and why we think that they're underrated or unstarted. So it's going to be a real exercise in keeping it tight and contained. I think that's going to be part of the fun. I think, so look, honestly, we could do another one and have Mask in there. What else could we have? GoBots. We could have
Kenner superpowers.
Like superpowers, yes, of course. We almost had X-Men in there. I think we picked Star Wars over X-Men in there.
No, I think we swapped. We swapped Ninja Turtles. I think it was Ninja Turtles we swapped out for X-Men.
Yeah. Oh, X-Men.
Anyway,
yeah. But it's Ninja Turtles. Yeah. Oh, Thundercats. Yeah. Yes, that's what I mean. So if this Dreamathon goes well, then we can do one at Mask and Thundercats and all of those other lines that, because unfortunately we can only pick 5, and I mean, who's not going to pick Transformers and G.I. Joe first, right?
Well,
it's a relay race.
I think the thing is, we had to go with the big 3 of the 80s, which is Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Masters of the Universe. And then Star Wars is kind of like the big transcendent franchise, which even though it fizzled by the mid-80s, it's the transcendent all generations franchise, so it gets in there. And then Ninja Turtles was kind of the big franchise that took over for the big 3 after the big 3 faded in the 80s or started fading. So that's why it had to be those 5, if you ask me.
I'd like to talk about Skeleton Warriors and what else was sort of the unsung villains back in the day. I mean, even ones like Muscle would be pretty cool. The Hasbros for wrestling.
Cops
Cops, even. Yeah.
That's right.
So that'll be happening this weekend. So if we do it it was originally going to be an annual event, Streamathon, but we could always do bi-yearly, every 6 months, do another one. Air Raiders. Oh, see, all of these ones are starting to come back now. My Machines. At some point, Air Raiders were so cool.
Yeah, Air Raiders. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So Air Raiders, they were the ones. Were they Ring Raiders or no? Was that something else?
Ring Raiders, I think, was something else. Because that was actually the thing that was actually the rings you would put on your hand was Ring Raiders. But mind you, it'd be hard to go for an hour about some of these particular topics. Like Sky Commanders is cool. Some of these are so good, but it'd be hard to go for a whole hour on them. Like Exo Squad, some of the folks in the chat are mentioning Exo Squad.
Well, I mean, some of them only have a few characters. Like if you go for ones like Supernaturals or what was the one where they had the shields that had the holograms on it?
Oh, Visionaries.
Visionaries, right? So the Visionaries, they only had a few characters too. So picking 5 from a small toy line might make it Here we are. Plastic Army Man sets. Which one was your favorite?
Yep.
I used to like the one with the binoculars. That was my go-to guy for the Army Man set. Spiral Zone. I'm not familiar with Spiral Zone or Starcom. Okay, I'll have to look these up.
I'm barely familiar with Starcom myself. Barely. Centurions I remember, but I don't know the characters super well. You know, I know Max Ray and all those, but like I don't know super well. Right.
I don't know Mighty Max. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that one either. What was the one that had the hand puppet spider? Insectoids?
Oh, Sectars.
Sectars. Okay, yeah. That was pretty cool.
Yes, Adam is big into Sectars, so he would be good to talk to about it.
And then, Toxic Crusaders. So, yeah. So we used to incorporate Toxic Crusaders and Ninja Turtles into the same playtime. They were like, very well suited for each other.
You know what would be really cool is like, if Toxic Crusaders had that Ninja Turtles thing going on about it, I think Playmates made them as well.
I think they had the same designer, maybe?
It was something like that. So it's like you could almost like do like a Toxic Crusaders tie into Ninja Turtles. You could do like a Cops tie into Mask because it was Hasbro and it was an upsized O-ring. You know, like these kinds of tops could be pretty cool. Right? If Space Commander were here, he would be saying GoBots, like GoBots is the standard for Transformers. He'd be making that comment right now. He's all about the GoBots.
Real Ghostbusters, yeah. Wait, are you saying Real Ghostbusters Boo, like the ghost goes boo, or Ghostbusters Boo as in I don't like Ghostbusters? Or are you saying Boo earns? Are you saying Ghostbusters Boo or Ghostbusters Boo earns?
Real Ghostbusters was a great line.
I thought so. Foam gliders, they were always WW2 planes.
World War.
I used to have foam planes. I've seen it. They always break on the first day that I got them though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here we go. Another one. Barbie. Perfect.
Yeah, after Kelly handing me my ass in the debate, I never want to talk Barbie again.
It was a ghost book. Yeah, I don't know if it could. I think she opened and closed the chapter on Barbie for us.
Both our channels were a lot smaller back then. That would almost be a good rerun episode to run again, so that the members can see the four-way amazingly fun debate we had of what was the greatest toy line ever between He-Man, G.I. Joe, Transformers, and Barbie.
Do you scare easily?
Why?
Boo. That lol wasn't for that, but I'm going to add that in there so it looks like on the replay that they thought I was funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, classic cowboys. Yeah. So yes, I used to have the cowboy sets, little plastic cowboys.
Okay.
And Avatar stream, yeah. I think hi KB, how you going? We're doing this because we both couldn't be bothered doing our hair. People get sick of our face after a while.
Yeah, well, I'm actually really deep into bedtime routine right now, so like I'm trying to get the kid to sleep. So, but I'm literally
definitely a boo moment.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Toasty. Right. So, yeah, Toasty.
Who's that?
Yeah, he's trying to get him to bed right now.
Yeah. I've got a head going on.
Yeah. No, seriously, consider re-airing that or putting it on the channel tab or putting it on the Slaughterhouse page or Twitter to pump that four-way debate again. Like, run it as a rerun.
Yeah, that was a fun day. It was Motu with Corey Lang channel. It was, you had Transformers, of course. I had G.I. Joe, and it was Barbie for
Kelly.
And Kelly nailed it. Like, she came in with all she'd done her homework on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you should. The funny thing was, I had to go right after her. So like, she had all this amazing stuff prepped, and we're like, "Okay, Ken, over to you. Talk now." Like,
Yeah. Oh, Lego. That'd be a good one to discuss.
Lego would be a good one.
Yeah. So you did a video on this very subject, didn't you, Ken?
Yes, it was about Checkpoint. So there's a video I did about Checkpoint's relation to Beachhead, and scale wise it kind of worked because the old school Cops was a bigger O-ring line. It was basically 6-inch, and then I put it next to the classified Beachhead, and they just look pretty good together. So yeah. So yes, they're related.
Oh, I think Happy Accidents taking off. See you, buddy.
Take care, Happy Accident.
Thanks for jumping on. It's got some editing. Oh, it's got some editing to do for tomorrow's post. I'll definitely tune in this weekend. Peace, y'all. Cheers, buddy. I'll check in on yours too. Thought I saw someone else saying they were leaving. Oh, yeah. So I'll check that out. Yeah, so this weekend, streamathon. Are we going to be on camera for that one, Ken?
Yeah, we'll have to be on camera for that one.
Knowing is half the battle. That's true. What's the other half of the battle?
Getting pissed off of yourself for spending too much money on toys.
Hey, Tony, thanks for jumping in, mate. We were originally talking about Slaughters Marauders.
Yeah, Tony had a great stream earlier on Palatoy Action Man catalogs as well. So that was a really good, really informative stream.
Those superhero games. I never had any of the Mego superheroes, but I was familiar with them when I was reading Toy Fair magazine and Wizard magazine, and they had, I think it was what was it called? Action Figure Theater or something, and they would use those characters in epic storylines. Hulk was always funny, and Thor was always funny. So that's where I really know them from. But seeing the catalog for the board games, the Marvel board games, the Marvel superhero board games, that took me back because I definitely had some form. I had some form of superhero game. I can't remember exact. It wasn't the ones from the catalog, but I had some version of a Marvel superhero game. So that was cool.
It definitely takes us back thinking about that. And I rewatched his Story of Action Man documentary the other day. It just does not age. Like, it's like the third time I've watched it. It's like 90 minutes just learning about, a toy line that you kind of knew about but didn't really know about. So
there it is. Twisted Mego Theater. Yeah.
Yes.
That was great. Mego Horror is the best. I've seen a bunch of them re-released here. I saw some Star Wars one and some classic monsters. They look cool. I don't know what line it was, but I had a little motorcycle with Batman on it, and a little motorcycle with Spider-Man on it. I don't know what toy line it was.
Yeah. I know which ones you're talking about, but I don't know the name. Yeah.
And for a while there, I thought when I was like a little kid, I thought Spider-Man was a bad guy from Batman because they both came on a motorcycle. It wasn't until later. So I used to, Captain Scarlet video. I had no idea about Captain Scarlet until a mutual friend of me and Tony's put me onto it, Brendan Haley.
The funny thing about videos like that Captain Scarlet video, it could be one of those that's slow coming out of the gate, and then the algorithm grabs it and then just spikes it. Like it's just one of those videos that it could do that, where it's dead in the water, and all of a sudden you wake up the next day and like 1,000 more views have piled in. Like it's just got that thing written all over.
I've never experienced where 1,000 more views have happened.
Okay, I haven't, but it happened. It happened to me somewhat today with the LJN Series 2 WWF, where it was lunchtime and it had hardly any views. It's been up for 2 days. I'm like, okay, it's kind of a dud. When I finished work and then finished my stream like 5 hours later, it got like 500 views in that time. I'm like, what's going on? Like, it just shows it to another audience. The algorithm just shows it to another audience, and it just starts spiking. And I just think that the Captain Scarlet video has that ability.
Yeah. Captain Scarlet, that's a blowback, was the best out of that style, in my opinion.
With the animatronics or the marionettes. Marionettes. Yeah,
a lot more violent in comparison to some of the others too, if I recall correctly. Here's a shout out for Treasures for Trivia from Rob Vegas. The G.I. Joe in Japan videos are always awesome, and that is true. So
they're very informative.
I will say, before I shout out Phil, I will shout out Rob Vegas real quick, because he's recently, I think it was 2 years, was it 1 year or 2 years, I think, on YouTube. And he did the camping with G.I. Joes, and he had a bunch of Joes that looked like they're on a fishing trip. It was fishing trip, G.I. Joe fishing trip. So check out Rob Vegas.
You're talking about unsung heroes. Rob Vegas was an unsung hero for Cobra Convergence, with doing a video every single day, and he was willing to do that without having a featured day. And eventually he got a featured day, but he was just willing to do it. And it's that unassuming attitude that we need out of people in this community.
I don't know how he did it.
I don't either.
But Treasures for Trigger, I think you're 1 year. for Treasures for Charity. He's 1 year in. He did a video recently where he's showing off his recent Sergeant Slaughter collections. So check that out.
I saw that.
Video.
Yeah, with the Jack's Classic Superstar Sergeant Slaughters that he's got. Yes.
Phil, I got to tell you, mate, I love how you use your emojis in your videos. They're always hilarious.
Yes, gives personality. Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, Phil's definitely underrated.
I rate him highly. He's not underrated for me.
Well, no, I'm saying in general in YouTube, subscription-wise.
One of the ones that Rob Vegas did. You guys are too kind. Well, honesty and kindness, are they different? Appreciate it, mate. Well, yes, I don't know how kind I'm being. I'm just being honest. I think you're both very good channels. I'm looking forward to watching more from both of you. Particularly, actually, something funny, Ken. You haven't released this video yet, but you're doing your tour, your toy tour, collection tours.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize at first how many different shelves on your collection have Sergeant Slaughter on them for different reasons.
Yep.
So it's like a game of Where's Waldo, but with Sarge with your collection. Because you can see them on many, I mean, everything except for maybe a Transformers shelf has a
pretty much.
Yeah. But when is that one coming out? Because that's a great video.
It's so the 2-part series. I have this thing where I film like a month or 2 months in advance because I always just think I'm going to run into some time where I can't do stuff. So right now it's slated for end of September, early October, but that's just kind of the general timeline about when that's coming out. It'll be a 2-part tour. The first one will be a 30-minute look at my vintage collection and 30 minutes looking at the modern collection. So yeah, it took a lot of horsepower to film. Like I was literally doing voiceovers at 4 a.m. to get that thing done. Just round the clock was working on it nonstop. So I'm looking forward to a bit of a break here.
Yeah. So, I mean, from start to finish. So if you're going to watch both of them, it's an event, right? If you watch both back to back, it's an event. But I like that you maintain consistency throughout the entire video series because it's very informative. You can see you've got passion behind it. But doing a video for that long, by the end of it, you can start to sound a little bit droll or a little bit tired or a little bit worn.
If you really know me and you talk to me enough, you will hear a little bit like my voice just goes down about 10% in terms of not so much the passion, but the energy level drops a little bit. And then I kind of give a little bit more in that last 1 minute outro where I'm kind of just where I kind of give it one last gasp, one last push, and you can just tell I crossed the finish line and I pretty much collapsed. And a couple of friends who I asked for some feedback on parts of it, they said, you're pushing yourself too much on this one. And I agree. I pushed myself way too hard on that one. I need a bit of a rest. Yeah,
if you at the end of it feel like a relief that it's over, then you probably did push yourself too hard.
Yeah, and there was a big relief when it happened. So I think I exerted a little much.
All right, we got a question from KB. Are you sticking around a bit longer, Ken, or do you have to go?
No, I'm going to try to stick around a bit longer. I'm just hiding in the corner of my son's bedroom, telling everyone he's asleep when really he's listening to me talk. But yeah.
All right, we got a question from KB. He says, Zazel, I don't know if it's ever been answered. Do you have much of a collection outside of Sergeant Slaughter memorabilia? I didn't until Ken came along and pretty much got me stuck on to Masters of the Universe Origins. So I've got behind me there Castle Grayskull. The cabinet over there is filled with Origins. Underneath the Castle Grayskull is a bunch of Sergeant Slaughter memorabilia. But I used to have, I don't think I ever had a dark period where I wasn't collecting toys, right? So I always collected toys throughout my life. It's just depending on what was available, right? So I think for the most part, my adolescence into my adulthood, my main collecting or my main collection was Star Wars. So Star Wars was all over the house. I had Star Wars action figures from, the 90s and onwards, right? When they started to come back again. I didn't have any of my original toys. A lot of my original toys. I'm a kid from the 80s. So a lot of kids from the 80s probably understand this when I say it. But my parents divorced when I was pretty young. I think I was 10. And I didn't understand what money was until mum and dad divorced, right? Because all of a sudden I'm living with mum and we don't have a lot of money right now, right? And up until then, I had no idea that, you know, how much things cost. I had no idea. We just had stuff. And when we moved, all of my toys that got left behind were given away to the stepkids that my dad had, which
Goodness, good God.
me.
Yeah.
So all my Lego, all my comics, all my action figures, all of that were given to the stepkids. And when I went back to visit, I was like, oh, my toys, I'm going to take this with me. I wasn't allowed to. I wasn't allowed to take my own toys back with me. So I had nothing, and we had no way of amassing a collection of that size. Catch you, buddy.
Later, Bjorn.
So I had nothing, so I had pretty much had to start again. So Star Wars was coming out, and so I started picking up Star Wars action figures. But then I had kids when I was very young. So I think I was just hitting like 18, 19 and starting to have kids. And, you know, you don't have as much money then because you're providing for your family. And so therefore I had less action figures then, but I still collected where I could. But for the most part, it was Star Wars. I don't have any of those anymore. None of those Star Wars figures I have in my collection anymore. After that, I was collecting Transformers, and that was like the Binaltech and the what was the other version of Binaltech? Alternators. Right. So I was collecting Binaltech and alternators, and the kids got to an age where they were interested in Transformers all of a sudden, and so I was like, yeah. What would give Ken a aneurysm? And I was like, yeah, play with my toys. So the kids, while they enjoyed the alternators and the Binaltech, they all got broken eventually, right? So I didn't have any Transformers anymore. So the Transformers are gone. And then I got really into Marvel Legends. And so I had a huge collection of Marvel Legends. I particularly enjoyed when they had the Builder figures. That was great. But now I think I've only got, out of the Marvel Legends collections that I had, I've only got most of the Builder figures like Galactus, Giant Man, Fin Fang Foom. I've pretty much just got those right now.
Fin Fang Foom has become a holy grail, right? He was a hard one to get. So do you not have Sentinel?
Not that one, no. I've got the other one that came with the Wolverine, the one that looks like from the cartoon.
Okay, yeah.
It wasn't a Builder figure, it was just a...
No, I know. I know.
So all the kids played with the Marvel Legends too, and then eventually they got broken or misplaced or whatever. But right now, mostly, if it's not Sergeant Slaughter related, it's whatever I can use for the Slaughterhouse Wrestling Championship. So I'll pick up specific characters that I think will work as a wrestler, as well as like a cool figure, and Masters of the Universe Origins. So there's a long way of going about saying, yeah, a few other things.
Yeah, I didn't know the story about you losing your toys to step siblings. That's pretty sad. And then
it's rough. It's rough when you can't give them back. Like, just give them back. Like, I had a comic that I left behind. It was it actually belonged to my mum, and it had her name in it. Like, she got a Supergirl comic and she gave it to me, and then I found that in a stack of other comics that weren't mine. I was like, oh, this is my mum's. I'll take this back. No, wasn't allowed to. As a young kid, I didn't have the confidence to just say, I'm taking it. As an adult now, I would have been like, hey, I'm taking it. Thank you for sharing your stories of your collection growing up. Much appreciated. Yeah, thanks, mate. I didn't realize I was going to get so deep into it. Is this therapy? This might be therapy. 99% of my childhood toys get wrecked by my kids and nephews, so now it's a rebuild. Yeah, look, when a lot of my toys when I was growing up got broken because we had epic adventures with them, and while I don't have any of those Binaltech or alternator Transformers anymore, I have the memories of playing with them with my kids, which is vastly more valuable than having an item on display, in my opinion.
Yep, it is. Because the item on display you can replace. That memory you get for a finite time. That's it.
Right. Yeah. KB's in a weird spot. Most of my toys are childhood survivors, and recently I decided to undertake reacquiring some Joes I had as a kid in better shape, or a couple I lost or never got. Yeah, but I mean, I was I often hear people say, I want to just collect the ones that I used to have as a kid. But then where do you draw the line, right? It's like, oh, maybe I want the ones I always wanted. And then after a while, your collection gets out of hand, because I was only going to get a couple of the origins that, to match the characters that I had as a kid. And then before you know it, I've got glass cabinets filled with them. Thank you, Ken.
Sometimes though, the one you had as a kid, because you had it as a kid, it ends up being the one that you were least excited about because you got the most time with it. It's the case for me with Metroplex in Transformers, because I had it as a kid. I played the wheels off, and I still have my childhood one in decent shape. But if you ask me to rank my favorite city Transformers, I would rank any of the others ahead of him, because he's the one that I defaulted to. So I got the most time with him. Therefore, it's run out of steam for me. And in a way, it's been like that with the Mobile Command Center for me as well with G.I. Joe. Like, I love it. You saw me talk about it on the collection tour, but I've run out of steam a little bit with it, just because of how much time I got to play with it. So I had to find different ways to display it. I had to display different characters that I didn't have as a kid on it, just to give that new feeling to it. So.
Well, I will say, I'll touch on what KB is saying here, saying that most of his toys are childhood survivors. That's epic. That is epic that you have some childhood survivors.
So much, yeah.
It's actually a blessing. And if some of them are in rough shape, that's great, because that means that you had some fun with these toys. You can look at that and go, oh, man, I remember when the thumb broke off this G.I. Joe. I was trying to cram a gun in there and go on an epic battle. And I think that the big thing for me is that while my childhood toys didn't survive, for whatever reason, I've got the memories of it, though. And if ever I get a Sergeant Slaughter or any other figure with like scuffed paint, a broken thumb or whatever, I look at that and I think, great, this toy has been a toy for someone in an adventure, in a some sort of childhood play, as opposed to, having immaculate paint. And it's like, was this ever played with by a kid?
Well, that's the thing Joe Berg was saying. He likes his toys in played with condition.
Right. Yeah. So this is absolutely true too. Collections tend to evolve and change over time. Priorities and shelf space dictate occasional purges. I've done it. I purged most of my Marvel Legends. When I moved from Perth to Queensland, I gave away all of my large G.I. Joe scale vehicles to my Perth friends, because I just didn't have the space to take them, and I knew that they would appreciate them. And so I purged most of the vehicles. I gave away all my Marvel Legends to people who I think would have appreciated them. I don't like to sell stuff. I don't like to deal with money. Classified childhood trauma. Yeah. Correct. I ended up playing in bands when the G.I. Joe line wound up in '94. Found all of the old figures when I moved house a few years back, and I've been trying to fix them up since when the gigs stopped. I think, Rob, you're a great musician, and you have such a collection of guitars. They're so cool. But
we may have to do a stream on our experiences with toys, because I have a lot to share. Like, I have a lot of feel-good stories as a kid, but I have a lot of bad stories about the early part of my collecting as an adult. And it's a big reason why I push myself so hard on channel production, because I'm trying to purge off some of those bad memories of some of the stuff that happened to me in my early adulthood. And we could probably do like a mental health behind toys stream or something like that.
Obviously I've got some skeletons in my closet that I'm trying to work through.
Childhood
trauma. So a bunch of my toys went missing. Yeah, that happens too. A few years later at my dad's girlfriend's house, I noticed a bunch of toys in their basement. Filled my brother's trunk with them. Most were busted or missing parts. Yep, I can relate to you, mate. Mine, so they didn't even try to hide the fact that they had mine. I think they enjoyed the fact that I wasn't going to take them with me. Otherwise, they would have probably tried to hide it. But to have them out there on full display, and then telling me I can't have my own stuff was pretty rough.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty rough. Not anything I would want for anyone. So Treasure Phil says, I still have nightmares about my parents' garage sales. You hear a lot of stories where, who was it that said they had stuff in their parents they wanted to go back for it, but they'd sold it. They weren't even using them. Yeah, I don't know. Some people are just bad eggs, man. Yeah, they don't want you to have it, but they don't want it either. It's pretty rough. Yeah, that is shit, man. I agree. Yeah, sorry I had to go through that. Well, we have my dad's original. Oh, nice. Original 1960s G.I. Joe dolls in a Jeep tucked away at my mum's. That stuff isn't getting touched. Well, I mean, at this stage, we probably shouldn't, but hopefully at the time they did, right? In the 60s. Hopefully then they had some adventures. Like, I'm all for retiring, but, you know, hopefully they had some adventures too. You often, when you move, I don't know if you found this, Ken, because you've got such a large collection, but when you move, you'll just find that you're missing stuff, right?
What? Well,
you probably do an inventory before you do.
Yeah, maybe I should leave that in no comments. Everything in a Ziploc bag labeled with a Sharpie, all piled up with the same thing.
Will says he has a huge toy loss story. It's pretty messed up, so he doesn't want to get into it too much. That's fine if you don't want to. Let's say dysfunctional is an understatement. Yeah, well, I mean, you can share if you want, Phil. Oh, not Phil. Will, you can share if you want. If you don't want to, that's fine. No pressure. But yeah, no judgment from me, buddy. My brothers and I played with them as kids. Oh, cool. But the stories we heard, especially on how rare that Jeep is. See, that's what I can't go for monetary value on a toy because the sentimental value is way more valuable. And I guarantee you that the memories that you had as a kid playing with these 60s Joes is worth a lot more than whatever money you can put in your wallet.
Mm-hmm.
I like Grindhead Jim's catch-all phrase, nostalgia tax, for the time and expenses we endure chasing those childhood feels from great toys. Yeah, true. But, I mean,
yeah.
What about you, Ken? Is there anything that you would just draw the line on as far as, like, for me, I want the sides, the mail-away JLN-inspired sides, but I won't drop the kind of money that's required for it, right? But is there anything that you probably think that you want that you won't drop big bucks on?
Rocket firing Boba Fett.
Well, yeah. True.
Sorry, it was just the default stock answer that came to my mind.
Low hanging fruit, but it's a fair point. It's a fair one though. If you're into, you don't even really have a Star Wars collection though. You just want.
No, you know what? You know what I was thinking actually. Now that you mention it, maybe the Fun School Super Cops set, like the whole set that it comes with, because the whole Rescue Squad set. I think that one has me priced out just mentally. Yeah.
What's your how much would you pay for a set?
Well, here's the thing. I think I had a chance at a set for somewhere between 400 and 500 Canadian, which applied the 30% exchange to US dollars a number of years ago. I said no thanks. It might be a little much, and I wasn't looking for it. And now that thing has basically tripled in price since the time I said no. And I think maybe that's what's getting to me, right?
Right. So the Lilith 1978 says, "Yo, Joe, I still got my childhood Joes and Snakes. I once had a friend who stole my Crazy Legs figure. Oh, it took me over 20 years to replace it. Oh, geez. Yeah, that sucks too. But I mean, friends do that, right? I mean, not like good friends, but when you have friends over, something would always go missing. I think that's part of being a kid, is that toys go missing into other friends' collections. It's not cool, but I think it happens. KB, this is why I like having Michael retro blasting around. I live vicariously through seeing him have all the toys we didn't get as kids. Scratches the itch of the nostalgia. I will say that watching Ken's collection video scratches my itch because I think having a collection behind glass is the same as watching it behind the glass of a screen, right? So I can enjoy Ken's collection that he has behind the glass of my screen. So it's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, I guess. Definitely.
Well, for me, I'm not going to have as many toys as you have, so I'm glad that you made the video so I can look at them. Classified as a Super Cup set that was $800 AUD Australian. So there you go. That's a bargain, in my opinion.
Yep. Yeah, depending how recently he got it. Like 2 years ago, that was about what they went for.
Yeah. I think it must have been about, was it about a year and a half, 2 years ago? I think it was about then. But yeah, that's what they were going for. And they were very good condition, very good condition. Yep. Lost 2 G.I. Joe vehicles in a recent move. Was close to calling the cops. Oh, damn.
Oh, wow.
It's still in my mind. So you lost them, and you know how they lost them if you're going to call the cops? Do you know who took it? Here we go. So my entire house burned to the ground when I was 10. Lost everything but the suitcase I filled with my favorite G.I. Joes and took with me on vacation.
I'm sorry to hear that, Will. Yeah. And
that's
shout out to William McLaughlin. I'm sad to hear that story, but number 2, my phone pinged me, and I have a new patron in my Patreon called named William McLaughlin. So I want to shout him out.
Yeah.
that email is about 15 minutes old. I got the notification just now, but thank you, Will. So.
Good on you, Will. You're a good bloke.
He's a good.
But yeah,
okay.
I'm sorry to hear that this happened. But you got your favorite G.I. Joes. I guess that's little comfort to losing everything in a house fire. But at least you and I hope everybody that lived there was out of the house. Well, you were obviously on vacation, but obviously for the sake of you and your family, I'm glad you weren't home for that. What's up, brothers? What's up,
Anthony Rumble?
What's up? Yeah, sorry to hear that. Yeah, sentiments exactly. What have we got here? When I said 20 years to replace, I mean get it on card. Oh, nice. I still lost a friend because no intention to replace him. Yeah.
I've been guilted out of a toy before. That's happened to me. Like,
how do you mean?
I'll get into the story once we're caught up in the chat. But yeah.
So KB says Ken's collection is pretty nice, and he has the wrestling figures. Yep, those have grown on me.
Awesome. Glad to hear they've grown on you, KB.
The funny part was I tossed my clothes, and my parents had to buy me clothing on the trip.
Okay. Damn, Will. Yeah.
So yeah, all right. There's a bigger story here, Will. But you know, clothes and a home and all of that, as detrimental as it is at the time, those things can be replaced. Even your favorite toys can be replaced. But you know, your life and your family's life, that's something that you can't replace. But yeah, that is pretty bad. 10 years old.
Yes.
Yeah. It makes you reevaluate your own childhood trauma when you've got people that have lost just about everything. So I'm hearing you, buddy. Yeah, Ken, you were going to say you got guilted out of a toy.
So this is funny, right? Like I often talk about how I started collecting around December of 2002, right? Now you got to bear in mind I'm a mid, university level age kid at this point in time. Don't have a lot of disposable income, right? And I'm just hearing everybody's stories right now, and this is the one that comes to mind because it was right when I got back into collecting, right? I had heard that the shop near my home had, and let's just shout out Nolan quickly there.
Hey, new channel member, Nolan.
Welcome, Nolan.
Welcome to the Slaughterhouse. Thank you for joining, Nolan. Just so everyone knows, we have a members stream happening at the end of every month. So if you're a channel member, you can be part of that stream. Sometimes we have guests on. So there's a good chance that one of these streams that the members are on will also have Sarge on there. So keep that in mind if you're a fan.
Awesome.
But thanks for joining, Nolan. Absolute legend.
Awesome, Nolan. Yeah, so right when I got back into collecting, I met a person who was local to me, like very close by, like within driving distance. And I was talking to him about Transformers because I was kind of like looking into somebody who had been collecting longer than me so that I have a friend collecting. And when I heard one of the shops nearby had a Generation 2 Megatron, just the figure. And I knew how much it was. He wanted a very cheap price for it. And then somehow I found out another local collector had all the accessories. And I'm like, oh, so I just make 2 purchases and I got a complete one. And it, all in all, is going to cost about 35 Canadian or about like whatever that is, 27 American. Total steal to get it all for free, even back then. So while I'm telling my buddy about it, and I'm using buddy in air quotes, we're talking. I make the deal, and he goes, if you don't want it, I'll take it. And you know where this is going. And I'm sitting there going, it's kind of obvious, like what you're angling at here, but buddy, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make the deal. And he's like, yeah, but just in case you don't want it. And I'm like, no, this isn't going to happen. And then finally at the end, he just had to appeal to me and just say, well, buddy, I want it. And I'm like, yeah, but I made the deal. I just got back into it. And then it just...
So you did all the hard work of
yeah, and
price.
that's exactly it. And then eventually he just said, well, fine, whatever, blow all your money, see what I care. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, why are you guilting me over this? And then eventually I just said to him, if you're angling at this, you go ahead and take it. I'll step out of the way because clearly it means something to you. So just go ahead and do it. And then when that happened, he was like, okay, cool, but I don't want to tell the store owner that I'm stepping in for you. So can you go pick it up for me? Oh, okay. So now I got to pick it up for you and make the deal as well, and then turn it around. And so, and then this started to become kind of a regular thing with him, and I had to start to hide my purchases from my supposed friend. And this went on for a good number of years, and it just fed into my low confidence and my low self-worth at the time. And then it was many years later, like I'm really feel weirded out admitting it was about 13 years after this incident. I finally just had to tell him, I cannot do this hobby with you. I like this hobby is a strain on the friendship, and I should have said it years ago. And he didn't get it, and eventually we just fell out, and I had to just cut him off. And it's not like me, but it's just like, really, like, you want me to do all the dirty work, and then you just swoop in and just take the deal at the end. And I was a 20-year-old kid at the time. I should have known better, but I lacked the confidence, and I carried that lack of confidence wherever I went. It was just a bit weird.
But I have a feeling. I have a feeling that they knew that they could, target that level of confidence to their benefit. So that's pretty. And
it kind of became a semi-regular thing over the years. Like, it was like every time I made a purchase, like if I got a club exclusive, and he walked into my house and saw it, it was literally like, oh, you got them. Oh, well, how come you didn't tell me you got them? I'm like, I got to tell you when I make a purchase. And then he like, okay, tell me how much you paid for them. And then all of a sudden he would go hunting for them everywhere until he got a better deal than me. And it was just a really, really weird, awkward thing. And then I wasn't the only one who cut him off. Like 5 or 6 of us in the local community cut him off. And then eventually, like, he just stopped showing up at places. And then I'm like, okay, I made the right choice. And I wish I'd done this years earlier and spared my other friends the agony of having to deal with him. And again, it just comes down to low self-esteem, low confidence, not wanting to push back on little things like this.
Well, I mean, if you had have listened to other people when you got your JLN-inspired Sarge, you wouldn't have that in your collection either. That turned out to be a very fortuitous purchase.
That one was a bit different. I was closer to 37 or 38 by that point, so I knew when to push back and basically just say, you know what, folks, you can say whatever you want. This is happening. So,
well, you got some support in the chat, mate.
I appreciate that. I got a lot of stories like this. Not ones that I'll share tonight, but just to give you an idea.
So, fellow Aussie, the Lilith 1978 says, I just want to say it's good to see fellow Aussie, a fan of Joe's, and please no disrespect, but I feel Joe's got overlooked for years between Transformers, Star Wars. Look, I think for me particularly, G.I. Joe was pretty big, and maybe it's because I had 2 other brothers that were also playing Joes with me that I didn't see that there was any overlook. But they definitely got overlooked. Everything got overlooked when Ninja Turtles hit, because they hit big. Like, all of a sudden, Star Wars and Transformers and G.I. Joe were, nobody had them on their radar. And it was all Ninja Turtles, at least where I was. But, yeah, I was always a fan of G.I. Joe. So, there you go. Regional Victoria. There you go. You got some more support here.
Yeah, I mean, there's hours, which I won't get into here, but let's just say that individual moved into the apartment in the same building as me a few years later. Like, after I moved in, he moved in, and all of a sudden, all the awkwardness went up another level, even after what I said. And imagine dealing with that story, and that person moves into the same building as you later on.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
KB says here it's a dumb thing, but I'm sure some content creators are going to deal with fans wanting to buy items from them just so they can name drop, which is pretty sad. Yeah, I mean, I see I mean, it all depends on if they want the item and they can get a good deal out of it, that's fine. But if they want it just for the sake of the person it's coming from, then that's a bit weird.
I kind of felt that that's what some people did when Toy Hunter was on. A lot of people just wanted to buy from Jordan, right? It's kind of what I felt like.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't think I would buy something just because it was owned by anyone in particular. Except, having said that, I have purchased things off of friends before because they were selling, getting out of the hobby, and I felt personally like it would be great to have something of my friends in my collection. I've enjoyed many toy lines, but it's always been G.I. Joe for me. I think G.I. Joe is the one that I've always just circled back to. So I've gone and collected Transformers. I've gone and collected Marvel Legends. I've gone and collected Ninja Turtles, unless I said Ninja Turtles already. I've gone and collected all of those and then gone back to G.I. Joe because it's just something there that keeps drawing me back. And whether it's because Sarge is my childhood hero or whether or not they were just nailing it with G.I. Joe, I don't know. The Turtles blew up big in 1990 here. Yes, they did. I remember they made us watch the movie at school. They made you watch the movie at school? They wouldn't have to make me watch the movie. I went to the cinema to see Ninja Turtles, but they were banned at my school. It was all over the news because kids were jumping out of trees and hurting themselves or going into storm drains pretending to be Ninja Turtles. Nunchucks, you couldn't make. We used to make nunchucks out of sticks and shoelaces. Yeah, so we got Motu, TMNT, Transformers, come and went, but Joes were always a staple in my home. Yeah. Same. I've even collected many lines just because they were either close to or compatible with Joes. Yeah, I had the core, and they were just as up there as far as the Joes were concerned with us. Mostly it would be my grandparents buying me the core, but I thought they were fine. I never had any issue with them. Do you have any issue with the core, Ken?
I just knew they weren't Joe, and right. But they were kind of like the quirky G.I. Joe line on the side sort of thing. I never collected them. I'm not sure why, but I just never got into them. I know them when I see them, but I just never got into them.
Yeah, like I always thought they were pretty cool, depending on which character you got. Some of them were wild. My grandparents particularly were like, well, I'm either going to buy him this one for this much money, or I can get the pack of 3 or 5 or whatever it was for the same amount of money. I was like, yeah, okay, fair enough. I enjoyed them. I looked at them as the international team. Yeah, I mean, some of them even look like Knox and stuff.
Yes.
Hans Chow. When I was in my first year of university, I had a friend living in Canada who was showing me the ropes. He showed me a local comic store and bought me a beachhead. Oh, that's nice. The toy has an honored place, as it should. What a great story. Yeah, that's epic.
Absolutely, Hans. Epic.
So my Masters of the Universe collection, and I'm still planning on doing a deep dive into that collection, Ken. It's just ongoing. But I don't ever look at that collection and not instantly think about you, Ken. Mostly because you got me into it and you supplied me with like the lion's share of it. But yeah, it's intertwined. So I've got, on one hand, it reminds me of childhood nostalgia because the characters look very close to how they originally did. And I think it's great that they, for the most part, came over from you. So yeah, you are forever tied into my Masters of the Universe collection.
Oh, you're saying I have the power.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and even though Castle Grayskull didn't come from you, I got that locally. That's the Prince Adam in front of it.
I tried to get a good shipping code to get it to you, and
yes.
It's just the shipping on that one just cost more than the castle itself by quite a bit. And I'm like, don't do this. The only way you do this is that the castle spikes so high in price, and you get desperate for it. And I still keep my low price, and you just pay the shipping, and it ends up being worth it. So yeah.
Well, yeah, we ended up getting them locally, thankfully. But yeah, I mean, I got the Prince Adam that you sent me in front of the castle there.
Yes.
Yeah. So apparently, Night Vipers are more cooler than Beachhead. Well, maybe.
I army build Night Viper, so I can't disagree with him. I'm not sure if they're cooler than Beachhead, but I have a few of them, and I only have one Beachhead, so I guess they're cooler.
So good news, Hans is still friends with the gentleman that gave him the Beachhead.
Yes.
So saying that in a sentence is a bit weird, isn't it? Still friends with the guy that gave him Beachhead. I have a soft spot for the Pursuit of Cobra era of G.I. Joe. They're getting Spendy to track down. You know what? I didn't think that I would, but I'm starting to miss when I was seeing 25th anniversary Joes and Rise of Cobra Joes when they were on the shelves. Like I think for if you're the resurgence of G.I. Joe, I think it really happened with the 25th and the Rise of Cobra stuff. And then later into the 30th. Like I don't think we realized how good we had it at the time. But I don't have any of those now either because I've since just gone O-ring again. But I was all in on those modern era Joes, 25th anniversary and so forth. Love them.
But the thing is, we get that with Classified now, which is why I'm So I kind of feel that tickles the itch.
Yes. Yeah. But it's just the feeling of tracking down, like especially when they did them well. Like I think they did Bazooka pretty well. Snow Job was very well done. Beachhead was another one that was well done. I think he was in a comic pack, right? Beachhead with Mainframe. I think they called him Data Frame, right? Is that the one? Do they call him Data Frame in that comic 2-pack?
Well, they did have a lot that they had to change the names for trademark reasons or whatever. But I do remember a Data Frame.
Was Nemesis Immortal.
Yes, although I think that's a cooler name.
I can't stand Cobra La, but I love the Bounty Hunters. I'd love to see that sci-fi element re-released. I think Nemesis Enforcer is pretty damn cool.
He's cool for taking a beating from Sarge.
Yeah. Other than but I never had an issue with Cobra La. I mean, there was always a sci-fi element anyway. Those modern lines were great. I just can't get into Classified. I think most of my Classifieds came from you too, Ken.
The very first box I sent you. The thank you for welcoming me to the Slaughterhouse box.
Yeah.
The original box.
I still have them all in that box still. I should technically do an unboxing of those.
Oh, may as well.
Deep breath, but Classifieds are no fun to play with. Too big for my tiny soft paws.
It's okay, Hans. We still love you, Hans. It's all good.
Yeah, man, it's okay. Are you going to get the Sarge though? Because that looks awesome, and it comes with a little Sarge that will fit perfectly in your hands. See, they've thought about you. Modern line was great, but I can't get into Classified. Yeah, they don't work well for display purposes because after a while you're going to run out of display. That's a good thing about the original G.I. Joe is that you can display hundreds of them in a small amount of space. There's a guy, Frostbite. Yeah. Frostbite G.I. Joe Repo, 3D prints the Night Viper helmet in black plastic. That is a friend of mine, Lenny Court. I recently had dinner with, he goes by Leany on Facebook. I had dinner with Leany recently. He came and visited. Good guy. But now, Rob, a conversation that I had with Leany, and I wonder if you can agree with me on this one, but we don't get a lot of support from the Aussie G.I. Joe community, in my opinion, except for the guys that are on the chat right now that are from Australia. But when I first did this channel, I thought that my comment section was going to be flooded with fellow Aussies, but I've got only a small amount of Aussies that jump in on the chat, and everyone else is from all over the world, which is fantastic, but unexpected. I had no idea I was going to get people from all over the world. Oh, good, he did pre-order the Sarge. But Rob Vegas, the fact that you have an Aussie-inspired, very Aussie channel, like it's very Aussie. Sometimes you're out and about in Australia showing off the city of Melbourne. And the fact that you don't have a lot of the Aussie community, Aussie G.I. Joe community, is a travesty. It's a travesty. And it's, disappointing. It's very disappointing. Dale's back. Dale's been sending me pictures of his trips to the pub.
Oh, has he? That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Need more Aussie G.I. Joe collectors. I
didn't realize Unusual Mike until I looked at his channel just now has almost 20,000 subscribers.
Well done. That's a solid effort. Ken's the kind of guy that looks at the numbers like this. I'm very, I don't want to say ignorant. I don't think I'm ignorant. I just think that I don't focus on the numbers because I don't know. It's not on the forefront of my mind. Like, I don't even know when I've jumped up in subscribers until you tell me. I do try to put an Aussie spin on the show. Yeah, and I appreciate that, Rob. I appreciate that. It's just, yeah, I feel like Aussies, you hear a lot of things like Aussies band together. Aussies, they got Joe Bros and all that. But where are the Joe Bros, Rob? Where are the Joe Bros from that Aussie group? They're not here, mate. They're not here. Except for the ones that are here, and we appreciate you. But the rest of them, I wonder where that support is. I can count all the Joe fans in Trinidad and Tobago on one hand. Me and the dude I buy from. And one other guy who buys 6-inch figures, and he's not really a Joe fan, just a fan of cool figures. Well, then you've got a monopoly on all the Joes in Trinidad, my friend.
Then you just got to move back to Canada, Hans.
Yeah, but he's got no competition right now in Trinidad. He's got no competition.
Okay,
he comes over to Canada, and he's got to compete with you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The Lilith 1978 agrees. I'm not sure if you're agreeing with what I said about the Aussie support, but if you do, I appreciate your support. Hooded Cobra is my favorite that I've got. Okay, yeah. That's a good figure. We're just not likely to see one anytime soon. Core, I always welcome my collection. Yeah, they're welcome in mine too. Like, some of them are great. I think people just shit on them because they're technically a cheaper version of G.I. Joe, but I think they're pretty cool. I think, at the most, yeah, Aussie support. Right. I will support, if any of my Aussie Joe Bros created a channel, I would be there supporting them because it's the Aussie thing to do. It's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I didn't realize that I would have so many people hanging out at the slaughterhouse when I first created this channel. No idea. But everyone here in the chat, and Ken, and some other channels that reached out, have really helped make me feel like I'm part of a community that is mostly supportive and inclusive. And when I first went live, I was petrified. Well, at first I was afraid, and then I was petrified. And then it just I very quickly realized that I do have friends out here. That's great. So
I remember that day because I got the notification that you'd gone live, and I was somewhere else. And then by the time I got there, Hans, Sweeney, and Gazz had joined you, maybe one other person. And then I remember I jumped on after that, and ended up being a great first chat. So,
right, yeah, I mean, it ended up being fun. Even this was supposed to be a chat about Slaughters Marauders, and we've gone way off topic, which is great, because it's good fun to hang out and chat.
Mm-hmm.
Lack of Joe competition in Japan is handy too. Yeah, and you get some great stuff, like some of the card art, the international card art. It's great to look at too.
Oh yeah, I just love all his international Takara or Takara, because he always says it right.
Takara. Yeah, Takara. I say Takara, and I know it's wrong. I used to say corpse as well instead of the core. You say corpse.
Yeah.
The Lilith 1978 says, I thought of starting a channel, but really got no clue how to go about it. Well, I mean, what are you passionate about? You don't have to do it live. You just make a video. Creating a channel is pretty easy. But if you ever want any help with it, just reach out, and I'll happily help you out with that. If I can do it, anyone can do it. I'm literally, honestly, ask Ken. I've got no idea what's going on. Ken shows me how to use the analytics because I've got no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I'm usually like that. I'm like, hey, Zazel, this video is performing better than your last one. And you're like, really? Cool. How did my last one do? We didn't talk about that one. I'm like, whoops. Usually how our conversations go.
PNW has a great group of Joe fans, even if Laser Pants doesn't do G.I. Joe. PNW equals Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and BC. What does PNW stand for?
Pacific Northwest, he must be thinking.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, because that goes all the way down the coast. Like, I'm in BC, which is north of the border. Immediately below me is Washington, then Oregon, south, and then Idaho is somewhere in the same time zone, but I forget exactly. I don't know my U.S. geography that well, but yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, yeah. I think there's, here we are. I had no idea either, ended up freestyling it. This is a great group and a wonderful community. Yeah, like there's a lot of support here, and if you do need a hand, reach out. Reach out to Rob as well. Rob says he's freestyling it, but he does some great stuff consistently. Oh, okay. So Western USA, North Carolina.
Yeah,
Oh, California. California. Sorry, I misread.
Yes.
California.
Yes, that's why it's the Northwest. Yes.
Gotcha. I can't say California without getting that song stuck in my head. Yeah. Just like you can't go wrong. Just play around with it, man. See, I think the first thing to do is to create a channel, and I think you'd link it to an email, and then let me know if you get stuck from there, and then we can figure it out. But I reckon you've got this, mate. I reckon you can do it. And then you'll have a subscriber from me. So let me know when it's up and running.
Make it 2.
Yeah. Jeff Barker is in Idaho.
I think so.
Seeing some of the classic pallet toy packaging art for Action Man from Analog Toys today was awesome. Modern toy packaging, isn't this cool? Yeah, so catalogs, box art, commercials, cartoons, all of that stuff. And I don't know whether or not it's just because I grew up there, but in that era, not in the 80s or whatever. It just seems like there's a lot more substance to it. Which, look at the stuff now, it just doesn't have the same feeling behind it. It could be nostalgia, but yeah, looking at that old stuff, it looks great. You're welcome, buddy. Definitely
welcome.
But yeah, toy catalogs, they were the, you were collecting in the brain when you're looking at a toy catalog, right? Because you're like, I want that, I want that, I want that. And even if you never got any of it, you still remember looking at the toy catalogs, remembering what you did want. And when you get a toy catalog now as an adult, and you can see that some kid has filled it out and circled things and ticked things, and I think that's great too. You get to get into the brain of what it was like to collect back then. Yeah. But definitely reach out if you need a hand. But yeah, think about what you want to do before you do it. What was that a line from? Transformers the movie?
Yeah, I was gonna say, but when Daniel's putting the exosuit on.
Yeah. I remember when we did the Transformers the movie talk with Analog Toys. That was fun.
That was a heck of a yeah.
Seems like it's all profit driven. Yeah,
it is.
It was then too, though, right? It was technically then too. It was commercials to sell toys. Cartoons were. Box art is a lost treasure. Even early art on video game cartridges like Mega Man. Yes.
Mega Man.
Oh my god! How much more cooler were? Oh, I'll finish the sentence first. Just ridiculous how much effort went into them before the era of graphic computer printing. Yes. So, how much cooler? And be honest, were the graphics on the cartridge and the packaging, the game itself, right? I bought so many games based on how cool the packaging looked, and then later on found out that the game was just trash. But yeah, those
Mega Man 2 is an example of that. Now, the game was not trash, but the game was difficult until you found the exact pattern how to beat those bosses, because you couldn't just elbow grease your way through the game. You had to outsmart those bosses and use a very specific technique and a very specific pattern to beat those bosses. So yes.
Yeah. I had an X-Men game. I think it was for was it for Super Nintendo? It was either Super Nintendo or it was for Sega Mega Drive, which I think was Sega Genesis.
It was, right? Yeah, I was gonna. It made me do some thinking there. I was like, yes, I think it was Genesis over here.
Right. So partway through the game, in this X-Men game, it like freezes, like something happens to it and the game freezes, and I think you have to hit the reset button in order to progress into the game. But as a kid, you don't know that, so you think the game's broken, so you can either just turn it off or throw it against the wall, whatever. But we found out accidentally how to progress in the stage by hitting the reset button. Yeah, the Atari 2600 had the most hardcore artwork on the games, but they were just triangles, squares, and circles, right? But the artwork is what sold it. I remember the old Atari commercials too. Good old wish book, yeah. I like how they actually made the Mega Man and Tekken versus Street Fighter with Pac-Man. It was weird, Mega Man, weird card art. I've just gotten Smash Brothers for Nintendo, and Mega Man's in it, and Pac-Man's in it, and the Street Fighter's in it. And I thought I was pretty good at Smash Brothers until I started playing against my son.
Yeah, those young kids and their reflexes.
They're so good. And he's got a broken hand at the moment, and he's still kicking my ass.
Really? How did he break his hand?
Yeah. He kept beating me at Smash Brothers. No, just kidding.
It was worth it.
Yeah. I'm drooling over Kmart and Target and Toy World catalogs back in the day. So I don't know how funny the story is. It was funny for me. Back when I was a kid, I used to do like a paper route, but I used to do it with toy catalogs. Well, technically, it was just catalogs, right? So sometimes I'd be just giving out, like from door into the letterbox, giving out, sometimes it'd be white goods, or sometimes it would be, whatever was supposed to be given away at that time. And then one day they gave us a stack of toy catalogs to distribute. And I just got lost in these toy catalogs that I gave none out. I ended up having hundreds of toy catalogs stacked in my room because I couldn't bring myself to give them away. I just kept them. I don't know why. Like, they were cool.
I'm just gonna say they're just that cool.
Yeah, they were just that cool. I couldn't bring myself to drop a catalog into anyone's mail. I just in awe of these. I think it was a Toy World. You have to hit the reset button on Mojo, which is a TV show within the game. Yes, and it only works if you have Generation 2 or 3. You couldn't do that with the original models.
Really?
Okay. So whatever version of the game I had required me to hit the reset button, and if I remember correctly, parents were concerned that games weren't challenging enough. Fuck you, parents. Mega Man looks way more human in his first art. The franchise made him more and more cartoony in appearance to match the game. Yeah, he looks really cartoony in Smash Brothers. It's just like weird when he's going up against Ken or Ryu from Street Fighter. Yeah. But yeah, those toy catalogs are just epic. They're not quite as good now because a lot of them are just filled with like Nerf or. Have you seen? I was going to send you a picture of it today, Ken. Have you seen the new Marvel figurines that are? I think they're called Monster Hunter or something. Monster Hunter armor Marvel figures. I saw one of Captain America.
I'm gonna say no. It's not ringing a bell. I mean, I look at toy stuff all the time, so maybe I scrolled right past it. But I'm gonna say no. That I don't recall seeing that.
Yeah. When I'm back at the shops, I'll show you. FYI, Street Fighter and Mega Man figures are making a comeback from J.Lo Toys this fall. Nice. The Street Fighter G.I. Joes have actually started into my collection. I think I've got a representation of just about every character from Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. I'm not sure if I'm.
Yeah, I half regret getting rid of my Sota Toys Street Fighter because I had a bunch in the 2000s, and they looked really good. They still hold up. Now the price has gone insane on them. Right. So anyway,
the only ones I ever had were the G.I. Joe ones, but I've seen even those VOA ones from who were they again? The most recent guys that are bringing out 5 VOA toys.
Oh, Super 7.
Super 7, right. Yeah, even those Street Fighter figures look pretty cool. There was a zombie line of superheroes coming. Oh, that's pretty cool. I did have the Marvel zombie action figures from they weren't toys. How were those ones out? Marvel Select.
Oh yeah.
I had the Hulk, Captain America, and Spider-Man. But the Spider-Man for me, the wrist, the peg snapped off in the socket of the wrist when I opened them up. And so from then, I'd heated up my toys after that. Doesn't matter so much when it's zombie. Did you guys from Australia order stuff with flag points? I did in '85. They're restricted to only in the US nowadays, which is sad. I didn't know I'd order from there, so I never tried. I remember getting catalogs that said that it was US and Canada only, and that no, I didn't. If we were able to, it wasn't ever. Yeah, I guess I missed that opportunity because I was never able to. At least
that's how I got Steel Brigade.
So we actually got the way that we got the fridge was with a ice cream promotion. You had to send away for a fridge, ice block or icy pole, whatever it is you guys call it, popsicle.
Popsicle, yes.
Yeah, so
yes.
Ice cream promotion for us to get the fridge, and even then, you guaranteed to get win it. You couldn't just guarantee yourself one. I got a Cobra Commander and a Stinger in the mail. That's pretty cool because I had no idea we were able to. I'm almost certain that the catalog said US and Canada only. So if there was ever an opportunity to do that, I missed out. So that sucked. because I love to Malware and Slaughter. Yeah. Marvel Max Strike Monster Hunters. It's in store shelves. Yeah. I'll go to Gojitron's video on that because I only just saw them today. So that's cool. I think you got Hooded Cobra Commander in a letterbox from Australia. Did I just get really bad luck? Wasn't able to order? Okay, cool. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the only denizens of Down Under G.I. Joe history are Major Blood and assorted Dreadnoks. Well, actually, some of the Dreadnoks weren't even from Australia. So some, I think maybe some were, but I can't remember who exactly was. I think maybe 1 or 2 Dreadnoks, and the rest are from like England or whatever. But other than Major Blood, we've got Skymate, who is an Aussie, and technically Recondo should have been Australian, but in the comic book we knew him as Digger. Hello, good morning.
Oh, Chris is here. Good to see him.
Good afternoon. The Dreadnoks were awesome. Yeah, they were. They all look cool. I don't think there's one that really looks shit. Not off the top of my head.
I'd have to ask Ryan because he's the Dreadnoks guy.
Yeah. But I mean, some of them. I think who came on the air skiff thing?
Zanzibar.
Like he doesn't look bad, but he just doesn't sort of seem to fit.
Correct. I would agree with that statement.
He doesn't look bad though. And apparently, Road Pig doesn't get a lot of love, but I reckon Road Pig's pretty cool.
No, he looks like Brock Lesnar, so I always just picture Brock Lesnar would make it. We could do a standalone film and have Brock star in it.
I've been collecting action points from the Bellaverse Action Force, but Bobby hasn't announced what sort of malware we'll be doing yet. Yeah, true. I wonder what that's going to be. Yeah,
Jim's got some pretty good 6-inch military stuff on his Instagram account. I always love seeing when he posts stuff.
Shout it out loud for Skymate. Hell yeah. Boomerang Billy from the core. Yes. So G.I. Joe Australia comic did have Digger, correct. Ripper, Torch, and Norgahide are Australian. Let's find out. We'll go to add stream. Let's check them out. We'll give them shouting. What year were they? Dreadnoks.
85. Norgahide would have been 89, but Torch and Ripper would be 85.
Oh, it's just gone to war. No, just give me the 85s, guys. All right, figures buzzer.
It probably did, and it just went alphabetical order.
Oh, maybe. So buzzer is from England. 85. Who else we got? Ripper is from Tasmania. There you go. Just makes it. Tasmania is an island just off the mainland of Australia, in case you didn't know, but I'm sure everyone knows that.
Where the Tasmanian devil is from.
Yeah, that's right. Who else have we got? Ripper. Torch is from, there you go, New South Wales. There you go, New South Wales, Australia. Okay, so that's 2 out of 3. Where's Zartan from? He's definitely not Australian.
1984.
Do we have any Dreadnoks in 86?
86 would be Xandar.
Well, they're definitely not from Australia. Monkey Wrench, where's he from? North Wales. So he's from Wales. So he's not Australian. Who else we got in 85? Was there anyone else?
Well, it was just those 3, and then 86 would have been Xandar and Zarana. 84 is Zartan. 89 is Norgahide.
89?
Yep.
Yep. What about...
Then I want to say Zanzibar is 87.
Doesn't even say where he's from.
Really?
It just says he's a poacher.
Huh.
What about Road Pig? That's weird.
Road Pig. You check 88. You can check 88 for Road Pig.
There he is. Zanzibar. You have to check vehicles for Zanzibar, don't I? He's from Michigan. No. He's way out of.
Yeah. No, you don't check vehicles for Zanzibar. Pretty sure Zanzibar's 87.
But he'll be in vehicles, though. He won't be in card figures.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe. Have a look.
Drivers and pilots, here we are.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
See, he looks cool. It's just, yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a dreadnought. He's from the Cayman Islands. Okay, cool. All right, so we've got, I don't know, 1,
3. Oh,
3, right?
I usually consider Crocmaster a dreadnought for some reason.
I don't think Crocmaster has... Oh, yeah, where's Crocmaster from? What year is he? 88?
Oh, God, 87, I want to say. No, 87 or 88. God, start with 87. If he's not there, then he's in 88.
Yeah, it must be 87. Crocmaster. Am I missing anyone? I don't know he is, but yeah, if that... First of all, he comes with an alligator. But if you call Crocmaster, he should be... Oh, there you go. File name is unknown. Doesn't say where he's from, but I guess I'll just...
So that's an alligator, not a crocodile.
I believe that is an alligator, yes. And it says here is a former alligator wrestler. So, as an alligator wrestler, that puts him as a contender, as a wrestler in the Slaughterhouse Wrestling Championship for me. How cool is Crocmaster, though?
He's so cool.
Red Pig version 2 comes from King Cross. Does he? Okay, all right. Let's check it out. That's interesting.
That's New South Wales, right?
Let me just... What year is version 2 from?
92, 91? I think. 92 or 93.
No. Is it Supersonic Fighters?
Yes.
Road Pig. Okay, well, we can add Road Pig then. I actually really like this action figure. I know that it's weird that he doesn't have his tattoo anymore, and I know his skin tone is weird, but I did have this version, and he's got like a...
So did I.
He's got a whole monitor on there. How cool is that? All right, what's his file card? Michigan. Dang it. Michigan. Yeah. Unfortunately, not King's Cross. Sorry, mate. Crocmaster should be from Darwin. I agree. Crocmaster is from Florida. Must be. But yeah, I do like Road Pig. But where was Crocmaster again? Coolest Crocmaster. Ah, so good. Yeah, he's definitely going to the slaughterhouse. He'll have to be unmasked on the slaughterhouse though. And I've got a good idea of who's underneath the hood. Crocmaster, Everglades, Florida. Okay. Tame saltwater crocs. Yeah. But yeah, if he was Australian, he'd definitely come from Darwin or North Queensland. But that is a great. So I had Crocmaster. He was definitely. Not only did he come with a pet, which is great, but what name did they end up giving? Who knows in the chat? What name?
Oh, Fiona.
Fiona, right. There you go. I need to get that one. Crocmaster might get me the classifieds. Yeah, I need that one. I think Big Bad Toy Store have it. Melbourne needs a Joe and Cobra. Well, let's find out where SkyMate is from. What was that? Let's find out. SkyMate was 90 something.
I don't. This one I don't know at all.
He's a glider. When did the gliders come out?
Oh shoot!
Sky Patrol. Here we are. 1990. Oh, Skydive. Get out of here. He wasn't.
I was gonna say that's not the glider. I only helped in the chat on that one.
My bad. All right, 93. What was he under? It wasn't Sky Patrol then, was it?
I could grab my Belomo guide to G.I. Joe right now. It's literally sitting above me. I could.
I'll just type SkyMate here.
Oh, duh.
SkyMate 91 Air Command. Okay, so I wonder if that was classed as a vehicle driver then. Just the right amount of pink on a man, I reckon. He's got a kangaroo on his hat, in case you didn't know.
Oh, there you go. Queenstown.
Yeah. Queenstown, Australia. Where is Queenstown? Rob, where's Queenstown? I'm going to find out. Queenstown, Australia. Let me just Google this, unless Rob gets to me quicker. Queenstown. It's probably made up.
Southern
Queenstown.
Island, South Island of.
Queenstown. Is it? Okay.
And Chris from Chasing 80s has asked a really good question. We completely forgot about Thrasher. From
Oh, yes. Yes, Thrasher.
Thrasher is 86, so you can
All
find him there.
Well, I can also find him. Thrasher.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been like sitting there like trying to remember the year, and you had a search function this whole time.
86.
Taxing my brain at late night.
With a blonde monkey wrench.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't say. Of course he bloody doesn't. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Doesn't say. I wonder if any other ones said, like the, did they ever come up with a 25th anniversary or beyond? I'll have to go to.
There were a few, right? Like Zanya would have been there. There was at least one other Dreadnought in the modern line, other than Zanya.
Oh, the guy with the motorcycle. Who was that guy? From the modern line, he had dark glasses and a three-wheeled motorcycle in the modern era. New Zealand just stole another one. Okay, damn it! Is there any New Zealand Kiwi? I know there are some Kiwi Joes in the action force, but are there any Kiwis in G.I. Joe? Good question. Are we missing any other Dreadnoughts though? Good question. Good question.
I don't think we are. Not from the vintage line.
Well, if I go to, what was it called again? Yojo. Yojo. Who's this? Now we want Dreadnoughts.
Storm Rider, according to Hans.
Pressure. Can you still see my screen?
Yeah.
I'm gonna check a mod.
Doesn't look like it's there either.
Thrash. Oops. So Belgium for Thrasher is apparently this version comes from Belgium. All right, let's go back. Who else didn't we know?
Storm Rider, according to
Naugahyde?
Hans. No, we got Naugahyde, so there's Storm Rider.
He's down here somewhere.
There you
Storm
go.
Rider. Where's he from? Did he have that's a question? Yep. Doesn't say where he's from.
Yeah, the file cards get a little less interesting around now.
But this guy looked pretty cool though. When he first came out, I thought he was pretty cool. Anyone else that we're missing that didn't have it on there? Oh, Burnout.
Ah, yes.
I wonder if he's got. Probably not. Oh, yeah. No, I don't know. What does that say? New York. Okay. What if I just check this whole box? Who we got here? New York, Michigan, Belgium, Florida, unknown, Michigan, and Illinois. So, okay. Nobody from Australia here. Yeah. So, there you go. The Aussie Barker Gang isn't that Aussie after all. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay, cool. With that hairstyle, Storm Rider is from San Francisco. Oni Zazel-chan. Okay. Yeah. I need Hans to do the voice of that. Do that in his anime voice. Belgium must be one of Tim's mates. Yeah.
Well, this is a lot of activity for this late at night. There's a lot of times I don't stream at this hour because I'm like, there's not that many people going to be on, but then they are. And between this and Mega J Retro, you're telling me that streaming late in my time is actually a good thing. I know it's early where you are, but
Well, it's 3:45 p.m. where I am.
yeah, it's 10:45 where I am, and East Coasters are late. Yes, there was a female Heart Wrencher, and in fact, Matthew LaCroix did a project on Heart Wrencher. That's actually a good point, Will McLaughlin.
Sweet. It's afternoon here. Yeah.
Yes.
Let me look that up.
Dreadnought Heart Wrencher. I know there was one. I just wasn't sure whether she was canon or not. Dreadnought Heart Wrencher. Yeah, she was part of the modern line.
Do you have a place of birth?
JoeBattleLines.com. Looks like she was an exclusive of some sort. It doesn't say. Huh. Oh, she appeared in G.I. Joe Devil's Due Frontline. I should know who she is, but I couldn't find a place where she's from.
She was there on your journey. Oh, okay. Shit. Sorry, mate.
Yeah. Let me go back to Yo Joe on my phone here.
All right. I don't like to use Yo Joe very much anymore because I know that they're missing some information now.
I know.
It's not quite as comprehensive as 3D Joes are starting to become. Dreadnought.
Was she on Yo Joe? I swear I can't find her on here.
We'll find. All right, I've got the Dreadnought back. Let me just share screen again. All right, can you see that?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look. Who have we got? Let's just see who we are. Ripper Zartan, 2004. Did we get everybody here? I believe we got everybody. Billy Bob, Monkey Wrench.
Yeah, so I couldn't find her.
I don't see her on here. Unless I scrolled too fast.
Yeah, I couldn't find her either when I look on my phone, on my other screen. I swear we're both scrolling right by her and the chat's going, those two idiots, hurry up.
You've gone by it twice already.
Yeah.
I jumped from
Anyway, Hans found it from
I did
Hans
New
found it
Mexico.
from New Mexico, Albuquerque.
Must have taken a wrong turn at Albuquerque. Yeah, but we've got, I don't know, like these guys, who knows where these guys are from? Joe Bob, Cletus, Roscoe. I'm Dreadnought Billy Bob. I'm a dreadhead.
Yeah.
But who else was down here? The international ones. I wonder if they got anywhere different. International Road Pig. Let's see where he's from. It says. Nah, none of the back. Oh,
God, I love these fun school ones.
Yeah. So we got Super Cop.
Yeah.
Where is he? Where do I find international? Yeah, here, where it says international. Of course. Who did we have in Australia?
Mm-hmm.
So for us, no exclusive action figures released in Australia. However, they did get 2 of the European exclusive Tiger Forces. So we've got Outback here and we've got Psych Out. We also got the second series of DEF. So they were still DEF for us. So I think they just went to Battle Core, but they were technically DEF for us here in Australia. And we had Action Man for a little while too.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with the '90s Joes just because of the era I grew up in.
And that there is Digger.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. G'day, mate. I can't do a very good Australian accent. It's so weird. Then we got India. India's got some cool. So we've got Super Cup. Super Cup. Super Cup. Oh, so good. Well, it says here that the figure is made from the head of Sarge, the chest and waist from General Hawk, and the arms of Iceberg. True, but the waist is also sometimes Flint, I believe, and also sometimes, what's his name? The guy that put the bats together and has the rocket launchers.
Oh, Scrap Iron.
Scrap Iron, yeah. Sometimes those ones too. And here, you just got one of these recently as a modern version of this, right? Well, I mean, a remake.
Yeah. Yeah. This was one of those when I was talking about on my Holy Grail stream about people flexing their oh, look at what I've got. When I posted this, someone else was kind of like, you just have a Joe Fest one. I got the original, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, yeah, but there's a certain story behind it. It's called Ryan Laserpants left the Vala verse booth on the busiest day on the Friday to hunt this down for me. Found one, messaged me while the booth, I'm like, that's the priceless part. It's sitting there trying to tell me how much money this, like, not Ryan, but the guy trying to tell me how much, look at me, I can afford a Fun School superhero. I'm like, yeah, whatever, right?
Yeah. But that was a good pickup, and it looks just as good as this one, if not better.
Oh, I was gonna say with the file card and everything, right? So
yeah, even better. So, did the Dreadnoks ever operate as a team after the Sunbow cartoon? You get to see the later ones together in the Dick cartoon or comic. Well, actually, you see Norgahide pretty much operates by himself with the Baroness in Operation Dragonfire, and then later on you see Road Pig. I believe you see Road Pig. It's just about, I don't think there's any knowledge. There's nothing that really says he's a Dreadnought, but you do see Road Pig.
Well, it's like Metalhead's not really on the Iron Grenadiers during that time.
Treasure for Triggers apparently had a good question. What did I miss? Stupid question. Ooh. Oh, perfect. Stupid question. Does the word Dreadnought have a meaning, or is it just a name? That's a good question. That's a good question. What does Google say? I've got no idea.
I have no idea either.
It's a good question. I'll have to look that up and find out. But yeah,
Dreadnought definition. Let me just try that out.
Yeah. Love to go to Joe Fest. Same here, buddy. I'm going to do my very best to get there next year.
Mm-hmm. So the Dreadnought definition is the Dreadnoks are a fictional biker gang from G.I. Joe, Real American Hero Toy. Okay, I guess that's the official definition on Google.
Okay. No definition. I wonder what Larry Hammer, because he must have come up with a name for it, right?
Well, it tries to autocorrect me to dreadlocks first.
Yeah.
So he must have just played off the word, is what I'm guessing.
I think we explained that one. Oh, cool. Okay. Well, I don't have that knowledge in my head right now. I'll have to go back and have one. Billy Bob, Vance, those guys are the epitome of Dreadnought Cannon Fodder. I suspect most of them were taken out by Monkey Wrench and hand grenade. Yeah, right. They were trying to get a spot as official Dreadnought, but that's a good call out, Hans. That is true. Yeah, I reckon that's probably those guys.
KV feels Outback should have just been an Australian because of his name.
Yeah, I mean, what you give him a name like Outback, and then not
make him from New York or something, right? Let's give him a name like Outback.
He's always an Aussie for me. Same with Recondo. In the comics, Zorana rocked up to their shack and they rode off into the night. She's definitely, if she shows up, you go the other direction. You make a run for it. The Dreadnoks were great fun in the G.I. Joe comics with a weird fascination with grape soda.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And donuts. right? Donuts and grape soda. But yeah, I'm very into the international stuff.
Oh, always.
So if we go to Argentina, all right, here's one. I've got one for you. I want to get your opinion. Which do you think is the best of the repaints of Sarge? Oh, I've got this one in my collection. It's very weird. It says Ultimate Warrior on it, but it's got a Sarge. It says Ultimate Warrior. That's pretty cool. But I got one of those. They're very good. But it's the Argentinian version of Sergeant Slaughter. So we've got that one, which is the mail away in pretty much when you're looking at it, it's the mail away body with the paint of just about the Triple T, right?
Yes.
Can you see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
All right.
yeah, I can.
All right, just making sure. So we've got that one. It's here somewhere in just the card. Yeah. So he's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
So out of him, and India got who do they call Sergeant Slaughter in India other than Sergeant Smasher? There he is. Then you got Sergeant Smasher, which is pretty much Slaughters Marauders, but with even less paint apps because they've taken the brown off the boots there.
Mm.
So there's that one, and then Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Their version is where is he? Where is he in here? I know he's got a weird name. I can't find him. But it's basically just the mail away.
Yeah.
Screw it. I can't find him.
That's all good, yeah.
And for all I know, he's not even there anymore.
Probably.
I could be looking for it, and he's probably been taken off of Yojo.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So Gento Slaughter is from Argentina. He's probably the best of the repaints. Straight repaints, anyway, in my opinion. Super Cup's pretty cool. He slices the cheese. Okay. I've missed whatever reference that's.
Slices the cheese from an itty bitty bitty bag. Itty bitty bitty
Right.
bag. I just made that up.
We've been going for 2.5 hours. Holy moly.
Yeah, I promised you 30 minutes, and then I miraculously got my other stuff done.
Waka. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. If you're interested becoming a channel member like Rob Vegas is here, and Nolan has become, thank you Nolan for joining. If you have any interest in joining to become a member, we will be doing very soon, at the end of every month, we do a members only live stream. Sometimes we have a guest on, so I think our next one will have Slaughter Daughter on hanging out with us. Sometimes we have Sarge on there. If you want to hang out with Sarge for a bit, there's an opportunity to do it.
Awesome.
So definitely consider becoming a member. We also have Patreon if you want to have some Patreon-only perks. But the benefit of being a member is you get all sorts of awesome emojis and stickers and stuff. So do consider that if that is your thing. Thanks, everyone. It's been fun. You're welcome. I will be announcing a GoFundMe soon because I want to try and get over to Joe Fest for 2023. If you want to contribute to that, that would be awesome too. I haven't officially announced it yet. I will be doing a live stream soon to give all the ins and outs. I'll be doing some giveaways and stuff for that. If you want to help me get to the US of A, that'll be awesome. Always fun to hang out with you guys. Thank you for being here. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Ken, thanks for jumping on for a half-hour live stream, mate.
Yeah, half hour, then another, then another, then another. What's another?
You meant the last half hour of the 2 hours, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. But I do appreciate everyone spending their time here. Time is precious, so I appreciate you spending some of that time with us tonight. or this afternoon, or this morning, depending on your time zone. What's your time now, Ken?
11 p.m.
Oh, damn. It's 4 p.m. here. So, yeah, I've got
Well, you know, you've jumped on at 2 a.m. for me, so I mean, what's 11 p.m. for me, right?
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah. But, yeah, thanks, everybody. Great stream. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, we went off topic a bit, but that's fine. We love it. We love it.
Love it all the time. Thanks, gentlemen.
I'm dismissed. Oh, before I go, I'll play a song to get us off. Which one do I want to do?
Don't want to close my eye. Okay, not that one.
Yeah. I'll play this one. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Sergeant Slaughter, everyone is behind you. Sergeant Slaughter, you defend our red, white, and blue. 'Cause you love everybody in this land so much. But if somebody puts down America, they better beware.